Cheers, queers. What's on the big gay agenda today, Theora?
Today we are continuing our scene-by-scene breakdown of Pluto the Series, and today we'll be continuing episode 7. Woo!
Woo!
Woo! Episode 7's a big episode. It's May and I and their little getaway after driving away in the getaway car.
Yeah. Again, the perfect song for that part. So glad you brought that up in the last
How well
episode.
that worked.
Literally getaway car. Anyway, this
is
just part 2.
Yeah, some quick housekeeping stuff. So thank you to everybody who has guessed about our page number length for our notes for Pluto the Series. Saw some good guesses in there. So keep those coming because we will
make sure you get your guesses in.
Yeah, get your guesses in for how long our show notes are for when we complete Pluto. We don't even know because we're not done yet. And whoever's closest will get a free piece of Big Gay Energy merch coming your way. So it doesn't hurt to guess. You might get free stuff. Who doesn't like free stuff?
I take anything if it's this free.
So there you go. So thank you to everybody that has put in some submissions. We appreciate you. And with that, we'll move on to our corrections and clownery segment. So it's been a while since we filmed Pluto, so we have quite a few. So on our last episode, we asked about why do you think Jan had Ploy's number when I got the number from Jan? So we got some submissions from our lovely listeners, and we'll start with Patreon. Do you want to read the first one, Caitlin?
Sure. So our first comment is from WhiteCat112. And they said, watch Ploy and Jan were just in the same Pilates class or something.
And literally. That's possible. Jan gives off that energy. So does Ploy.
Yes. And it would just be so like Jan being like, pretty lady, I'm gonna get her number.
Yeah, Jan has so much big gay energy. That is probably exactly what happened. She's like, oh wait, you want a fortune teller too? Even better. Yeah. It's like, Jan's so gay, she probably gets everybody's number in Pilates class. Let's be real. God, Jan.
Her phone ridiculous. Contact list is just, you just keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling.
And it's just a bunch of women. That's Jan. Absolutely. That's pretty good. That's a good guess. Our next one is from K Yoshi, who writes, here's my theory about Jan having Ploy's number. May never introduced to any of her friends, so Jan couldn't possibly have known anything through So when Jan was investigating accident and was suspicious of May, she went through May's socials, discovered Ploy was her bestie, then went through Ploy's socials, found out her interest in fortune tellers, and contacted her as a fortune teller to get her number in order to compare it to the one she memorized from Officer Hottie's file. That also is Jan, because Jan desperately wants to be a detective. So
that is... Also, the fact that your brain processed all of that, like the process that it would have had taken her, that was amazing. That is definitely plausible as well, because Jan would do that.
Like I said, or in another episode, Jan needs to have a true crime podcast, because she would absolutely do this.
Yes. She would have the best time ever.
Yeah, Jan Pilates class and Jan social media stalking and then contacting Ploy, also plausible.
Our next comment is from Cassie M. I always assume that Ploy and Jan know each other because of the fortune telling. After all, Ploy went to Bangkok to secure a good fortune for her restaurant. That's just my opinion. The show never spells it out.
It's definitely Pilates class or fortune telling. Like, those are the leading assumptions from our listeners. So if you have a guess at home, let us know. Those are all plausible. You guys clearly know Jan very well. Jan would absolutely do this stuff. Jan's a wild card. She's very fun. So just let us know if you also have any theories out there for how did Jan have Ploy's number. All right, and then we got on the Jan train, we got another comment on YouTube from the Slayer King 666 about Jan and Pang. So this listener writes, the reason I think Pang and Jan are perfect for each other is because when Jan told Officer Hottie she was a fortune teller, Officer Hottie was somewhat dismissive of it, almost making fun of it. But when Jan told Pang that she was a fortune teller, Pang's first response is that you are accurate. So that was when I started to expect it was going to be them two together at the end and not the teasing between Jan and Officer Hottie that everybody was thinking was going to happen. That was good.
And that was
good.
A great comment, because as soon as I read this comment, I was like, damn. Because again, like Pang asking, are you accurate? Like not even dismissing like what she does for work. Like that's a big thing. Like that's just showing that she's like supportive of what she does rather than being like, what are you doing?
Yeah, and they have a shared interest.
That. Yeah.
Yeah. I just hate that Officer Hottie gets Plutoed.
Yes, I do. It's because we needed like how many? It was 12 episodes. We needed the 14 episodes for this show, so and Officer Hottie could get together.
Listen, yes, just the end can just be and Officer Hottie.
And so we could know what happened with Officer Hottie's work, because that was just random.
It's so random.
We'll get there. We'll fan fiction, I guess, about it.
So random. Yeah. Get ready for that, because what the fuck was that about? Anyway, so thank you for that. Please write in all your insight, your comments. We love hearing from you guys and appreciate you adding to these discussions. So thank you for participating.
Yes, it makes me so happy. Well, it makes us happy, because
it does.
We love hearing from you. And then we'll read you have a chance to get your comment read. It's a win-win situation.
It is.
Comment below.
There are no losers except Officer Hottie at the end of the show.
And
And justice for
Theora. Because we weren't talking about them right now. It wasn't about her. It was about Officer Hottie. Officer Hottie deserves her moment.
They all do. They deserve love and each other. Yep. Anyway, that's not where we're at in the show.
No, we're not. We are still in Karat. Am I saying that correctly? I apologize
think so,
if that is wrong.
But I don't know.
All right, so we're starting off strong here.
Wrong letter.
I and May get to the hotel after being in the getaway car. And when they get to the room, I leads May to the couch and tells her that it's not too late to change her mind, because, I still wants to go back to Bangkok. Because
she's a wanted criminal at this point. Of course she wants to go back. She's like, are you sure, May?
But, like, even though she doesn't want to go at this point and have to see the three of them again, she still does care about how May's feeling, and I is trying to protect May from getting hurt right now, as well as, protecting herself and going back to the scene of the crime.
I mean, all of I's motivations are for May, so, like, if May is like, I want to do this, I's going to say yes.
Yes. Which is how she goes back. But anyway, before we get there, I also tells May that she doesn't think that Ploy wants her there anymore, which is, accurate, and that her friends hate her. Also accurate.
Also fair.
So this makes May think about her conversation with Tan about how Kasol was the one who attacked her for revenge, and I is friends with Kasol and Ben. So May's thinking about this, how, like, I just said, like, her friends hate her. Well, like, what if I's friends hated May?
Ding, ding, ding.
And May asks I, like, what if your friends hated me? Would you hate me too? And this is when, instead of immediately saying that she could never hate her, like, I's been doing this entire time, when they always have the, like, always be with me conversations, I actually thinks for a moment. And that surprised me when the first time I watched it, because she, again, immediately would be like, no, I would never leave you. I could never hate you. She thinks about it and says, it depends on what she did wrong. So this is not what May wanted to hear, and does not give May confidence, because she is ashamed of what she had to do in the past. And Kasol had to really, really hate her to attack her like that. That is something terrible.
I mean, well, that, and it's not just Kasol's reaction, it's that May knows that her part in Ben's case led to Ben's mother's death. So, like, May's got a body on her. And so, and because she, in the case, made it so that Batman had to pay Ben way less in compensation. So he was financially fucked forever. And as we saw in the flashback with when we met his mom for the first time, they were already financially struggling. So this just like fucked that entire family over in an irreparable way because Ben can't work. He's now crippled and then has medical bills. And they were already struggling. And like, so they needed the money from that court case. And May's role as the attorney representing Batman made that not happen. So that leads to Ben's mother's death. And so she's putting together that I was very close with all of these people. And it's like, fuck, well, when you figure out that I'm responsible for this death, like, because like what I was saying is like, well, you know, kind of depends on what you did. Like, you know, if I just burned down a restaurant for love, was that worse? Like, I didn't kill anybody. And then May's like, well, I kind of am murder adjacent. Like, so what she did was up there in terms of bad. So she's like, well, fuck. I's not like blindly so in love with me that like she would just forgive whatever, which is healthy on I's part because in a lot of Thai girl loves, they're like, I'll do what it doesn't matter how horribly you treat me and other people, I still love you. And it's like, that's kind of can be toxic, like to have that mindset where it's like, you could do no wrong. It's like, no, you definitely can, you know, there's a scale of how bad this is.
Help hide the body if the person like kills someone. Like you should have your own morals. Don't just blindly follow the other person.
Right. And that's what I was saying. She's like, well, it depends on what you did, like, and how bad it was. And then we'll go from there. And May is like, well, fuck, this is not making it easier for me to confess, which was the whole point. May really wanted to go on this trip with I specifically. And she's like, fuck. So now she's in this, she's like rethinking her chess moves at this point where she's like, well, fuck.
Always a wild card,
I mean, this is a very rational response. I'm surprised. I'm surprised May's surprised by this, to be honest. I guess she was hopeful. I was like blinded by, had the rose colored glasses on and was like, all those red flags just look like flags, May. It's fine. They're just flags. So like, I think she's like, fuck, well, I's not delusional. That sucks for my plan. Versus like, yeah, I's pretty, it's got street smarts, right? Where that would be her response, you know?
Yeah, and you like, even if she said like, I could never hate you, you never know how you're going to react until a situation arises. So I wouldn't even believe that.
Yeah.
And what I also can't believe is that somehow Ploy finds them and knows exactly where they are, and she shows up to the hotel room. And like, I'm just really curious about like how she found out where they were, because even if May told her like what hotel they're going to be at, they won't know the room until they get there. So how did Ploy know the room number? Like, did the front desk tell her? That just seems like bad security.
That and none of this makes any sense because every time I watch this, I'm trying to figure out the timeline of how is Ploy here right now, period. Because remember, when I and May were driving away in the getaway car, Ploy was in the rainy kitchen with the terrible Twosome, right? And then 3 minutes after I and May check into their room, Ploy shows up fully dressed in new clothing, hair and makeup done. Is she a witch? How did she get here 3 minutes after they check into the room?
Maybe they stopped to do something before and we just didn't see it.
Do what? They had lunch or they had brunch already. Like, what were they stopping for so long that Ploy left the restaurant, had a shower, changed clothes, blow dried her hair, put on makeup, drove after them? How? Like, doesn't make any sense. This timeline doesn't make sense.
I needed snacks for later, and she's really, really picky about what they are. I don't know.
Like, this timeline is ridiculous. And then to your point, how did Ploy know where they were? Like, what room they're in? She's a witch. The only thing I have is she's a witch, which also leads to why is she friends with Jan? They're in that mystical realm, okay? Ploy's a witch. That's my 2 cents, okay? And this scene,
they have a coven, and they're gonna go on the Witch's Road together.
Yeah. The Ploy ends up in an Agatha All Along scenario with Jan. That would be amazing, actually.
That actually would be great.
They're really fucking funny.
Put Officer Hottie in there too, somewhere.
And then, yeah. No, because then she'll get killed. I don't want her in there. Right. Keep her out of there.
She would get killed. So
she would get killed because that's her luck.
Anyway,
I don't want that for her.
That sounds like a great fan fiction for After Dark one day.
But anyway, this was wild. Like Ploy showing up literally 3 minutes after they check into the room. That doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever.
Yeah. So moving past the implausibility of the timeline, Ploy is rightfully pissed off and shows her phone, which I'm assuming is the security footage of her sabotage. So like I can't deny what's going on right now.
Yeah, no, it definitely is. Because remember, we get the CCTV angle. I think that's on purpose because that's what Ploy is showing her.
And I knows that she's caught and like doesn't argue, just hands the phone back to Ploy, says nothing. Okay? Remember, says nothing. So meanwhile, May is once again being very, very patient while not knowing what the hell is happening, while everyone is silent, because Ploy doesn't say anything either.
Seriously, now that you keep pointing out how often I does this where she doesn't tell May anything and it's just quiet for a while, I literally laughed out loud when watching this scene. Because seriously, what the fuck did May think was happening? Because Ploy just shows up and then it's quiet. Like, what did she think was happening? What did she think was happening? Like, this is so weird.
I'm trying to think of what she could think was happening.
Right, I can't think
of anything. I'm just going to give him space because if I interrupt it, something might happen. I don't know.
Oh my God. Like, seriously.
Like, I'm just going to let the kids
May.
work it out together.
Like, what the fuck was this? From May's point of view, who doesn't know what the hell's happening.
Maybe she gets lost in her thoughts too and like just doesn't, is like going through so many scenarios in her head.
Or she's so used to this, like people be quiet around her. She's like, I just gotta wait this out. I just gotta wait this out. She learned patience.
Yeah, someone will tell me.
Someone's gonna tell me. That's fine. There's no glass shattering. That's a positive. These two are alone in a room.
Yeah, there's no hell breaking loose yet.
That I can hear. That I can hear.
Yeah, that I can hear.
Or smell.
Yeah. So I doesn't say anything.
Of course not.
So Ploy gets right to it and tells May. This is when Ploy finally says something. She tells May that I tried to burn down her restaurant. Which May immediately tries to dismiss and tells Ploy that she could sue her for saying that without evidence. May immediately goes to lawyer mode when she's defensive.
No, she's like,
I will see.
How dare you slander my girlfriend? I will fucking sue you, friend of mine. Ploy's like, okay, lawyer May. Which, hot, May, yeah. Because, like, here's the deal. When May asked that question, she's like, if I did something wrong, would you just forgive me? Here's May being like, I's perfect. I forgive her immediately when she did it. Fuck you, Ploy. Like, so if I were to pose that question to May, like, would you forgive me no matter what? May would say yes. May's that person in the relationship.
May would get you out of it.
And she's like, I would also get you off of all charges, even if you did it. So, like,
you're the raindrop killer? Oh, you're
not
innocent.
anymore. Not according to the law, you're not. Exactly. That's May's energy in the relationship.
All right. So May's not aware that there is evidence going on because, again, no one told her what was happening when the evidence was being shared. So this is May becoming immediately defensive on behalf of I, the same way that I just did for her earlier. They are defensive. Just I is more thinking through things. But at this point, with the way that
things through.
Well, I is like.
Oh, you mean this scenario?
Yeah, so like I's like, I won't do everything for you, but she knows that at that moment, May was being
I think through more when it comes to defending May. I'm like, she definitely doesn't. She's like, I'm just gonna burn this restaurant. I was like, there's no thoughts there. She's like, arson.
But she is saying that it depends on the situation.
Yes. Back to the question May asked. I got you.
Yes. Sorry. Thank you for the clarification. But at this point, Ploy is showing up, trying to throw I under the bus because she doesn't know what the evidence is. And she's probably thinking that Ploy is just being as bad as the terrible Twosome right now, and she's losing faith in her friend. Like, this is the closest friend that she has that's not family. So this is when I steps in and just owns up to it. Because, again, there's evidence. She's not going to get out of this. And I defends her actions by saying that they went behind May's back, so she went behind theirs.
And the way I so confidently, like, I did it. Like, she just says the quote so quick. Like, Ploy's like, I'm accusing you of this. And I's like, yep, I did it. Like, really fast. Whereas May's like, how dare you? How dare you? I will sue your ass. I just like, yep, it was me. I did it. Like, zero regrets from I. Because, like, I is also not a liar. Like, we've seen I try to lie. She's so bad at it. Like, she's not a natural liar. Like, I get the impression that I doesn't lie about stuff normally. So like that's what made the whole cosplaying thing hard for her, because she doesn't lie often unless she's backed into a corner. So I wasn't going to lie here because she doesn't. And she thought she was the right thing, you know?
Yeah, that's the big thing. Like, she believes that she was in the right. And that is what makes Ploy angrier, because I isn't showing an ounce of remorse. Yes. And she tells May that I would be in a lot more trouble if she wasn't her girlfriend. And May responds that she would rather be in trouble than have a close friend who never wanted to stand by her. She's like, at least my girlfriend is willing to stick up for me while, like, you know, doing something super illegal. Then, like, just let me get hurt by so-called friends. And Ploy does recognize this, and she concedes by telling May that she's right. But she does defend herself by saying she didn't want trouble because the terrible Twosome are important connections for the restaurant.
Yep.
Again, it's for them, it's about connections, not friendship. That is the big thing here. Like, this isn't a friendship. These are acquaintances.
And Ploy's motivation is always my property, my business. That's Ploy's motivation every time. And that's what pissed off I, because she's like, isn't she your friend? Your friend was being insulted. And you just were like, but the business is more important to me. That's why I is upset.
Yeah. Always things over people.
Right. And I doesn't have things, so she doesn't understand that mentality.
Yeah, I doesn't understand the whole thing about connections.
No.
So, like, she shakes her head at Ploy's explanations. And this is just another example of the socioeconomic gap between her and May. Because this is a world that she never knew, and she never experienced having to do things just to keep the connections going that could benefit her. So, like, this all seems ridiculous to her, and, like, they're just using it as an excuse. But in May and Ploy's world, connections mean something, and if you break them, you might not be able to get as far, and it could actually hurt you in the long run. So these are, like, very important, like, people that you kind of have to tiptoe around, and every day is kind of like a chess move with them, and trying to keep the connections. Like, if you think of it as like a thread, like, if it breaks, then you have one less move that you're able to make going forward.
Politics, baby.
Freaking politics, man.
It's when people hate politics, because it sucks.
It's so bad. It's terrible. So Ploy says that she'll let the fire incident slide, and she still wants May to be at the opening. But she has a but. Only May.
Only you, May, are allowed at this opening.
I was wondering if you're going to go there.
Of course.
And you should have. I'm glad you did. All right. And Ploy's like, all right, I said what I said. I'm heading out. So once Ploy leaves, I tries to ask May if she wants her to take her back to Bangkok. I assume. Because May cuts her off before she can finish asking. And May tells I that she's going to show everyone that she, meaning I, isn't the problem. May's already got this big plan in her head. She's like, yeah, no, we're not doing that. And as I ask May what she's going to do, May's grip on Ai's hand tightens, and we get this really cool transition where May is basically pulling Ai in the next montage of her trying on dresses. And it reminded me of the transition where in episode 6 where Ai is singing and they get pulled into the dream world.
Yep.
And I just the transitions, man.
Yeah, that's a really good one. And I have to mention before the transition, just like in they share a brain cell, because before the montage transition we get, because Ai's like, what are we gonna do? May does that grin, the mischievous grin, which is what I did when May was like, why were you gone from the car, And I just smiles like a fucking villain. And like May does the same thing. So they share a brain cell, number one. And then number two, this is May's version of like basically she's like, nobody fucks with my girlfriend kind of thing. And that's like, okay, that was Ai's motivation for burning down the restaurant. She's like, you guys fucked with my girlfriend, I'm just gonna do arson. And this is, which is like Ai's version of fighting for May. And then May is like, we're gonna play politics, and this is my version of defending you. So it's like, again, it's juxtaposition of like the way they're going to defend each other, like on their own terms based on their backgrounds. Ai is literally going to fight you, whereas May is like, we're going to do subterfuge and subtext shit, and we're going to pull ultimate power moves and win the Game of Thrones. That's what we're doing. And like, so like again, when we get into the montage, it's like Ai's out of her element again, and just like going with May. She's like, I guess you're in charge, May. I don't understand this, but but like that's what May is doing, defending Ai on her turf, which is politics, like we've been saying.
Yeah, I love the fact that we see like May pulling her into the montage, because this is her pulling Ai into her world.
Exactly.
And like a world that is trying on a lot of dresses.
A world Ai doesn't
to find the perfect one to show off in front of everyone.
I doesn't want to be part of this world.
Sorry, a part of your world went through my head.
I understand.
And I was trying to figure out how to do the opposite of it, and it didn't work quick enough. So let's move on. She does look happy at times. Like, I think that she's happy that May still wants her to be included in her world. But like you also brought up in the last episode, maybe I always wanted to experiment with dressing up, and like she's actually enjoying getting to dress up.
Yeah, that or she's like, I enjoy May dressing me up and checking me out. I'm into that too. Even though May can't see me, she gets the description.
I mean, like, yeah, and then maybe May will take this dress off of her. Like,
right, yeah. Maybe we'll Taylor Swift this situation.
Yeah.
If only.
If only. Throughout this montage, the stylist is giving these bland descriptions of each dress that Ai's wearing, and May keeps like quickly dismissing each dress after the stylist is like, it is a black dress.
Which is crazy, because like you're a stylist. You'd think they'd be like, this is an Alexander McQueen from the fall collection of blah blah blah. You'd think they would like
A-line semi-cut. I don't know anything about
right, me either. I just know that one designer, but you'd think they would be like the designer, the catalog it came from. You know, that's the stylist's job.
Yeah.
Like, where'd you find this person, May? Well, I like last minute stylist. You're like like Craigslist or some shit. You're like, get over here.
I see. The thing is, with this stylist, I feel like she had this whole thing planned anyway.
Probably, but like May, like, how is a blind May working with this stylist for so long? Like, this doesn't seem like her regular stylist.
No, it can't be, because again, yeah, explain the dress more
to May, who's blind.
Like, it's, you can't just say the color. Like, that means nothing.
Correct. Anyway, it's just setting up Ai to be the hero. That's all.
Yeah. But May is also putting a lot of pressure on this, because she doesn't want anyone looking down on Ai.
Obviously. Nobody should be looking down on Ai. And okay, one of my favorite things about this part of the montage, where like basically Ai is May's dress up doll, the confidence radiating off of May in this scene, like, this is lawyer May in this scene, and I think that's part of the reason I is really into this, because who isn't into lawyer May? Like, she's so, like, authoritative and, like, confident and bossy, and I think I's into that. Which is valid. She's like, put that dress on. Okay, May. And the way she says it, she's like, take that one off, put that one on. She's like, okay, yep, you're in charge, May. You're in charge.
She's the top.
She is. Now. And I have to point out that, like, during the montage, I did show physical signs of being a little bit uncomfortable in some of these outfits. Like, for example, the black velvet dress, which is like strapless and has like a big slit down the leg. Like, the way her hands are positioned, where they're like kind of covering her chest a little bit, and she's like dipping her head, like she's trying to be smaller. Like, I think some of the outfits did make her uncomfortable, but it could, you know, to your point, if she is into experimenting, like, this just one isn't her style, but like, she did look uncomfortable in some of the outfits.
Well, yeah, especially with someone who like wears a jean jacket, a denim jacket.
Yeah,
like, she covers up a lot more.
When is I wearing strapless anything? Like, that's a very revealing dress for somebody if you're not used to wearing that. So like, her being uncomfortable makes sense. But like, I'm to the point of like I's having so much fun with this. Like, there are moments where she does look uncomfortable, like in the outfits themselves, but she's still doing it because May is asking her to do it. That's why I'm like, I think she's mostly into May bossing her around, not necessarily all the outfits.
That's fair.
Which is fair, because like, who doesn't love lawyer May?
She's a badass bitch.
Right.
Back to the stylist. The stylist picks up another dress and just says blue. Girl. And I think like this is when May's like, this is bullshit. And she's clearly getting frustrated that she can't actually see the dresses and she can't accurately get a picture. Like, she can't actually picture them with the description she's being given, because how could you? So I saves the day by stepping in to describe in detail what the color looks like. So I'm sure that I is like, if I don't start describing what these dresses are, I'm never going to get to stop trying on dresses.
Seriously.
And I just want this to be over at this point.
This will never end. Yeah, exactly.
It takes a lot of energy to put on and off clothes.
Seriously, they must be here for hours.
Oh,
poor eye.
Yeah. So she's like, you know what? It is like the sky after the rain. It has this princess look. It like makes you look like a princess.
Yeah. So I think it's significant that she says it gives off the vibe of an elegant princess, because that ties back to A Princess's Tale, which is one of their OSTs, like their dream song. And then I love that after she finishes explaining this dress, like holds it and poses. And it's like, who is this for? May can't see you. Like, she holds it and like strikes a pose, and it's like, who is that for? I's just dramatic sometimes for no reason, and I do love that about her.
I think just like there's moments of slips that'd be like, oh, she can't actually see, but like this is just what's natural for me to do right now.
To pose with the dress, like this might have been an acting slip.
I mean, I don't know. Like, she was trying to see the whole thing.
No, she holds it up and like presents it to May, who can't see her. Look at the photo. That's what she did. She's looking at May and like strikes a pose. Like, she pauses to pose, which could have been the actor slipping up, because the actor's a model. I could have just been like, this is what you do with products. But the character, that doesn't make any sense, because when has she ever done that? And then who is this for? The stylist? She doesn't care about the stylist's opinion. She did that for May, who can't see her.
Fair. Okay,
Sure, whatever you want. This is like when she clapped and the lights came on. She does shit like this. But it's like, it's for because she's just dramatic. She's a dramatic
love that moment. She's dramatic gay.
She is.
Okay, so once May finally approves this dress, I flips the whole situation on her and tells her to let her dress her too. And May immediately agrees. Because she wants to be the most beautiful girl in I's eyes.
Yeah.
And like, she had to actually try. Because May doesn't have to wear anything for that to be the case.
I mean, I would enjoy that.
I would.
I would also enjoy that.
Yes, that is not what I meant, but that works too.
It does.
So this whole back and forth is very light and carefree for both of them, almost as if they are back in their bubble where no one can hurt them. So
yeah, this is grade A flirting. Like, this is like in front of my salad shit, where the stylist is like, oh my god, in front of my salad, guys. Like, I'm trying to work. My favorite part though is when May says, because like this is really cute exchange, and then May says, I wish I could see. Which is like a fucking knife to the heart anytime May says this, but like particularly now because like May must, I assume this is a fantasy of May's to like dress up, put on a dress for I and then take it off later. Like has to be a fantasy of May's, and she's like, God damn it, I can't even see. And which is a crime in and of itself. And then the other crime in this particular scene is as they keep going back and forth during this exchange, I leans all the way into May's personal space to where her like she's like a breath away from May's face, which May probably feels because breathing. Yeah. And then if May could see the way I was looking at her when she does this, like all of her doubts would dissolve. Because look at the way I looks at May. She's just like hard eyes, right? But you know who does see this? Ton sees the way I is looking at May in this moment. And I really hope he tells her about it, because when he enters the scene, he sees I doing this. And again, she's staring at May. That is not for May at all. That is a betrayal of how I feels in this moment through her body language. So it's a reflection of I is fucking head over heels in love with May. This has nothing to do with May. This is I's feelings. So I really hope he tells her this shit and be like, well, I caught her fucking like a breath away from your face staring at you with hard eyes, May. I think you're good. Like, tell her that, Ton.
You're the ride or die. You're in charge of telling her that
you fucking
she doesn't have to worry.
God, what the hell, Ton? And then I love when they recognize that he's there and I like pulls away. And the way Ton's looking at them, he's like, that was gonna get real PG, I don't know, rated R, and like I fucking twat blocked you bitches, and he knows it because he's like, I definitely interrupted something with my presence. Like, look at his face. Fucking Ton, man, get your shit together.
Yeah. So he has to interrupt just to tell them the makeup and hair artist will be there in 10 minutes. Like, this could have waited another minute.
They had 10 minutes. You couldn't come by that.
It's 5 minutes. 5 minutes is customary. That's fine. And I seems a bit uncomfortable when like the hair and makeup artists are about to show up and asks if they have to go this far. And I am assuming at least that this is like the first time ever getting these things done for her. And it seems foreign to her to let others do it for her. Like, or even be able to afford to have someone else do the hair and makeup for her. Because like,
that's insane. Who knows what happened at Oom's wedding because she was late.
That's true.
So we don't know if she went through. I assume Oom went through that as the bride, and Paul probably paid for all that. But like, I was late, so who knows if she was, went through that treatment? Because usually that's customary for like the bridesmaids and stuff to like go through that, which I assume I was up there in the wedding party and would probably have gotten that, but like maybe was late and then didn't. Or she's getting nervous now because it's one thing to dress up in fancy dresses for May, who A, can't see you, and B, is really into you, you hope. But it's a whole other thing for I to have to go out in public, in these fancy clothes that she's not used to wearing, and then in fancy hair and makeup. So like maybe she's getting nervous too, that like this is getting real, Yeah,
that's fair. Like this is the last thing before they actually have
they gotta go,
to the restaurant.
Yeah,
I could see that.
So maybe a little bit of both.
Yeah, and May responds that it's for her and it has to be nothing less than perfect. No pressure though.
No.
You
got this, I. You are perfect. It's fine.
You really are. You are perfect.
Anyway. Arson and all. You're good.
Arson and all. So much arson.
It's I's MO. Arson. Burn it.
Did she stutter? Burn it. Anyway, I get a call from Meemaw asking her to go with Jan to Paul's house to get things. And I was like, I can't go. I'm in Karat. It seems like I is back to not telling Meemaw where she's going, just like leaving her in the dust. Be like, I'll be back sometime.
Also important to note, I exits the room with Ton and May to go have this conversation. So like nobody is allegedly overhearing her talk about this.
Yes. I don't know exactly where she is. How
another part of the room.
Big.
I don't even know where they are. Is this their suite for the who knows? They're in the hotel room. I know that because of the drapes.
Yeah. So I suggest that Meemaw go with Jan, and Meemaw immediately dismisses it and is like appalled like that she suggested this. And Meemaw says that she's not familiar with the place, so she can't go. But don't worry, Meemaw. Even though I can't go, and I do love how Meemaw's like, can't you just come back? And I's like, it's Karat, not around the block.
Yeah, girl.
I knows exactly who to send to help Jan at Paul's place, so don't worry.
She is going to send her minions. I also love that when I first picks up the phone with Meemaw, the first thing she says is, you always have bad timing. Because Meemaw, like Ton, has also twat-blocked I and May in the past, and I's getting really tired of being interrupted by other people when she's like gearing herself up to make a move, because I feel like that's what she was about to do when Ton showed up. Then Meemaw calls, because Meemaw has done this before too, and she's like, God damn, remember, she's like, somebody better be dead. Like, you're calling me, this better be bad, Meemaw, because like, what the hell? It's same thing. It's so funny.
Seriously, when they move in together, they're gonna make like a room like locked down, like no phones are allowed in the room.
Listen,
locks on the door.
These two forget to charge their cell phones. I think the phones will just be dead and they just won't get calls.
They're like, oh, well, you're right next to me. I have no reason to have my phone on me anymore. So,
yep, no, that's them for sure.
So while I is on the phone with Meemaw, Ton and May talk together, and Ton is questioning who May is doing this for and her plan.
And Ton starts by teasing May about the dress-up game, which is cheeky because he's like, I think that's what he's saying. He's like, who's the dress-up for? You or? And honestly, like, because he's trying to tease her, and because like I think this is a fantasy of hers, and that's what he's making fun of. But May is so over his shit because, like she said earlier, she wants to see I actually play dress up, but she can't. And I think she has big feelings about that in this scene. She's frustrated. She's like, I'm getting my dream, but I can't fucking see it. And this is bullshit. So I think that's why she's like more pissed off at Todd and like short with him than she normally would be.
That's fair. I wasn't quite sure what he was meaning in the beginning, so that makes sense. That
his tone was like teasing, so I think that's what he was teasing her. He's like, who's this dress up for? Or you?
Okay, so Ton asks May if she thinks that her plan's really going to work. And May tells him that I looks tough on the outside, but she's kind on the inside. And if I sees that May isn't okay, May knows that I's not just going to leave her. And this is an incredible place for May to be at mentally, because she has spent this whole time not knowing if I would leave her and like being worried that she's going to lose her.
And it's really sweet how during this conversation, May perks up. Because like when Ton comes in and he's first being like, who's this for, May? And she's like, is this really gonna work? She's like, fuck you. Like basically that's her energy. Like she's like pissed off. And then the minute she can talk about I, she like perks up, particularly when she describes how kind I is. So to me, it seems like this is an aspect of I's character that May really loves and was feeling that when she was describing it to Ton, which is really sweet.
It is. And like continuing with like her mental thought process that's healthy, May tells Ton if they are truly meant to be together, then I won't leave her after she knows the truth. And to me, like, this is basically a version of, if you love something, let it go. If it comes back to you, it is yours. If it doesn't, it never was.
Yep.
Because by telling I the truth, May is letting her go and allowing her to decide for herself if she truly wants to stay. But May has so much faith in their love and relationship that I will come back to her and be hers. Like, this, to her, like, she's been in this relationship for years, even though she just, well, I think she technically just met her. But she's been dedicated to this relationship. So she knows that, and she knows that I loves her now. Well, not yet.
She will know that.
She will know. But she knows that their feelings are there and that I is dedicated. And May then states that tonight she's going to make I-un hers. And I would like to point out that I is literally in the next room. I'm assuming it's a different room. And these two are not whispering. It's like one thing, like they could have been like, oh yeah, I'm going to make her mine tonight. No, they didn't do that. It would have been very easy for I to overhear May using the right name here, because she literally does say I-un. But I is a terrible spy. She probably could have been in the room with her and still not noticed that May was using her name.
No, she'd be like, what's warm, May? What are you talking about? Also, I also need to point out that the stylist is literally in the room with them, because when you first get the wide shot, the stylist is right there. So who is overhearing all of this? And I must assume the stylist signed some kind of NDA to work with May. Like, let's be honest. And so they're not worried about that. Or this is another classism moment for Tan and May, because they're like, she's the help, and they don't see the help as their furniture, that kind of thing, where this is their classism, or the bitch signed an NDA. It's one of the two things, because no one's worried about the stylist who's working with I and May. Because what if the stylist hears the name and then is like, okay, I-un, are you ready? Like, you know what I mean? Should this be like, that's what they called you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if it's the classism thing, which is definitely plausible.
Yes.
They're making a big mistake, because I would be the type of person to talk to, quote, the help.
Yeah. I know. Again, they didn't make friends with the maid, and that was their downfall.
It really was.
It was.
Okay, so then Tan has the audacity to question if this was the best thing she could come up with. And May turns it back on him and asks, wasn't it you and my dad who gave me no other choice?
Boom, mic drop.
Mm-hmm. And Tan knows that May got him there. And he hangs his head a bit, looking guilty, because, you know, you are.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm redeeming myself here, aren't I? And you can tell that his past decisions are hurting him. And May does acknowledge that Tan is trying to redeem himself. So they are both mutually aware that he screwed up in the past, but, you know, he's trying to make things right now.
So he is capable of change.
Yes.
Which is important to note.
Mm-hmm. He's on the path to redemption, just like Ploy is trying to be.
Is she? Ploy's trying to open her restaurant.
Well, yeah.
She dabbles in redemption. But
she dabbles in redemption.
She's not focused on redemption. She's trying to open her goddamn restaurant and make her dreams come true. Like, that is her motivation right now.
No, yeah, that's true. Tan has a lot to redeem himself.
Correct.
That he's really working hard on.
Yeah, he's been consciously trying to redeem himself in May's eyes. No pun intended, for a long time.
Yeah. All right, so we leave the three of them in the suite. And we head to
and
Jan
the stylist.
And
you just forgot the stylist, Caitlin.
I'm so sorry. I included the stylist.
The four of them.
I'm sorry. We leave the four of them. How could I?
How could you?
I'm being a classist bitch right now.
You are.
Oh, I apologize, stylist.
You are valid.
So number one.
We see you.
We do see you.
Even though they don't.
You are important.
You
have one of the most important roles, even though you're terrible at describing dresses.
Correct. You picked out the dresses. So step 1 complete.
Yeah. Getting there. Maybe you're in training. We don't know. We need
don't
your
know.
backstory.
Right. They barely treat you like a person. Anyway.
So from here we go to Jan and I's plan, a solution for Paul's house. So Pang shows up to help Jan get stuff from Paul's house.
And the first shot we get of like them with a box walking towards the house is always so trippy to me because I don't know what the hell is going on with the way the entrance to the courtyard for this house is, but it's like mirrors or something. And so like the house looks distorted.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I don't understand it. And it's always so trippy. Like the beginning of them walking towards the house, just like, it's real trippy.
So my brain didn't put together that this would be reality. I thought they had put like 3 different shots of the house, of like the surroundings in together, trying to like give a good picture of it. But I see what you mean.
I don't think that's what's happening. I think there's something on the grounds of this house and it's really fucking trippy. Either way, it's trippy. I don't know what the hell they were doing. Because like they keep moving and then like the rest of the house doesn't, like, it's weird, and they zoom in on them and the sides don't move. It's trippy. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, I have to point that out.
Well,
because I don't know what the technique here is, or if this is the architecture. It's just trippy.
If you know, let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
Jan thanks Pang for coming with her and then says, no wonder Meemaw didn't want to come, because this place is so luxurious that it's making her feel uneasy. I mean, I've never had that happen to me. There's a first for everything, though.
Well, like, Meemaw's not coming because they explained this in the very beginning where, like, Meemaw won't even say Paul's name anymore. So, like, it's more so about the fact that Paul drunk drove, put in harm's way, and then the family covered it up. So that's really why she's not going.
Yeah.
So she's like, you go. I send your friends.
Like, there's a reason that you're still here. Like, you're here. I don't have to do this.
Yeah.
I raised you, so you can do this for me.
But
she can't.
Yeah.
So Pang explains that it's not the luxuriousness, but the lifelessness.
Mm-hmm.
And she goes on to explain that when she decorates people's homes, it reflects who they are. But Paul's house is dark and gloomy and looks like a bachelor's place, which says a lot about Paul and who he is. Like, there was no life in his home, no light in his life, which is big considering that he had but it says more about the relationship.
It's more about the relationship because a bachelor's pad means a single man is living here.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, where was in that? Was not present in that house. So, like, we don't know a hell of a lot about Paul and only that they were getting married. Or they got married, got in a car accident. He's dead, she's in a coma. That's kind of all we know at this point. And he was wealthy, so the marriage looked good on paper. But now this is our first glimpse into, like, what was situation with Paul. Because we're still like, why the fuck did she have a side piece going on? Like, what was doing? And so we get into their shared space, and there's no evidence of in the shared space. So, like, the conclusion from that alone is that was not invested in that relationship. So then, like, why were they getting married? So, like, everything you learn about it just gives more questions about who the fuck was and what the fuck was doing, because this is really bizarre. Or were they just not living together at all? Like, it just begs a lot of weird questions about what was relationships with other people, because the pieces that we get don't add up, which is good storytelling, because, like, is a mystery until we finally get Oom's point of view. And the other thing I find interesting about this scene is I found it interesting that Pang is the one who makes this observation, not Jan, because I made a similar comment about May and the decor in May's mansion when she first got there, and she described, and they have this conversation late at night where I's like, well, I didn't think you'd be this, warm and kind and stuff because of the decor in your house gives off this lifelessness and it doesn't reflect your personality. So it's interesting that Pang shares the brain cell with I when it comes to like reading people by being in their spaces.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah, that was interesting that it was Pang. And also, like, Pang is an interior designer. Also, I thought she sold plants. Because she's like, when I decorate spaces for clients. So, like, I guess she's also an interior decorator.
Yeah.
Which was weird, because I thought maybe she was... Again, we don't get enough of the side bitches to really know, like, what the hell's going on in their lives. Because, like, did Pang own... I feel like Pang already owned a plant shop, right? Or... because she took Officer Hottie there, or like maybe she wanted to own a plant store later. Like
I thought she just knew a good plant store. I didn't know that she owned it.
Because at the end with Jan, she opens her own. Maybe she's opening her own plant store. And she opens that with Jan, and so yeah, maybe she's an interior designer right now. Because in the novel, Pang is an air hostess. She's not either of these things. So like, yeah, they don't fully explain GMMTV what Pang is really doing for money. So I guess she's an interior designer right now, is the assumption. Because like she shows up later with plants for Jan. So like maybe plants are part of her interior designing, and then she transitions jobs into owning a plant store.
Yeah, maybe she like becomes more like she loves plants in addition to interior designing, and like it's kind of like she does both things, and then it's like, I really love plants. I could open a plant store.
Because getting plants in a space is part of interior designing. So like maybe she just was like, fuck it, I just want to do all plants all the time. That's her fan fiction about Pang, because also that is not explained. It's just like later on she has a plant store with Jan. So yeah, so I guess that's what Pang's doing right now. She's an interior designer.
So back to the scene, Jan states that Paul's house is probably like this because wasn't into it. And this gets Pang's attention because what do you mean wasn't into Paul? Her husband.
The man she literally marries.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then all hell breaks loose.
She had a side piece that she made I break up with after the wedding. So like there were already clues that Pang knew about that she wasn't into Paul fully. So there's that.
Yeah.
Fucking man.
And we flash back to when was with Paul. And I use the term with very loosely here. Because she was barely giving him the time of day.
And I really like the way they transition into this, because they're in the house and then basically they have Jan. Jan looks over towards the couch, and then the camera switches angles to look at face towards Jan looking at the couch, and then Paul is suddenly in the frame out of focus, and then they use their rack focusing that they love so much to switch from Jan as the focus character to Paul as the focus character, and then it goes into the flashback. So I like that as the flashback, because it's like Jan's remembering this moment on the couch, and then like we get sucked into it by how they transition, which I really like.
Yeah, it's a really great
It's a good one.
And a good use of the rack focus, guys.
Yes, that they really love on the show.
Really love it.
For transitions,
always
specifically.
Use it correctly. Yeah. Definitely transitions, but this is a time where it made sense.
It was effective, yes.
Yeah. So Paul is looking at his tablet, smiling, thinking of all the possibilities of how they could decorate this place and make it theirs together, while is on her phone.
And the thing he's looking into in this moment is he's trying to pick out pictures to hang in their bedroom, which is a super intimate thing to do, right? That is their intimate space. And he's like, I want to make this our space, so we should work together to decorate it so it's our space. Right? So again, it says a lot that is like, whatever you want, Paul. I don't need to be involved with this. I'm fine with you making decisions. So basically, like, you put the work in, I'm just kind of here. And when they do a wide shot out from the couch, we can see that Paul and are sitting on the couch, and Jan is in the background doing God knows what. Like that was where Jan's point of view was in the actual memory. And if you notice, between Paul and there's a literal gap on the couch, right? So, like, the coldness that Pang was picking up on in the present seems to be stemming from because look at them. She's got physical distance between her and him in their house, what is soon to be their house, and they're having this conversation about decorating their bedroom. And is facing away from Paul, like her legs are crossed, and she's just like completely closed off to him with her body language and puts distance between them while they're doing something that should be a bonding moment.
Yeah.
That's not good. It's not a good read. It doesn't read well.
And Paul does like keep trying to get to participate, but she just is like, oh, you can decide. And he's like, well, I've been deciding everything. She's like, okay, cool. So you can make one more decision by yourself, right? And like, she's like, I'm fine with anything. Anything you want. And like the whole time she barely looks at him or gives him any attention. And poor Paul, because Paul gets Pluto too here.
Yeah, he does.
So hurt that won't even help make one decision. Like, this is literally one thing that he's asking to her to help with. Because he knows that this means that she doesn't care.
Yeah, and if you listen to the way talks to Paul, because in a minute she's about to pick up the phone and talk to Meemaw, and if you listen to her voice when she talks to Paul versus Meemaw, her voice is incredibly lifeless when she's talking to Paul. Like, the way this was acted out, it was just that was detached entirely from this moment with Paul. Even her voice sounds lifeless. Meanwhile, when she picks up the phone with Meemaw, she's like, ooh, tell me about that. Like, she perks up and you hear it in her voice. Like, it's like she's not invested in this marriage that's happening, which is like, when you're first watching this, you're like, seriously, what the fuck is happening? Did she marry him for money? Like, what happened here?
Yeah. And like, is a terrible person. Like, she is not giving him the time of the day. Like, she's supposed to be getting married to him, yet she's being so mean to him. Like, that's what you see.
It's not even mean. She's just acting like he's not there. Like, she's detached from this whole scenario. She's not emotionally invested, mentally invested. She's just separates herself from Paul, which is wild because they're about to get married. They're decorating their house together, and it's like she's just like, you make it whatever you want, Paul. Like Paul, like is not invested in this marriage, like, at all. Like, it's so wild.
Mm-hmm. And then to your point, Meemaw does call and is asking about the title of a soap opera she watches. And this is when immediately gives her full attention. Because, like, this is someone she does care about.
Yes.
And this is just a knife to Paul because it means that, like, the way that she was so, like, distant from him, it didn't mean, like, she was too busy to pick stuff out. Or, like, she literally just did not care enough to help him.
She didn't care. She doesn't care. Yeah, that's the thing.
And as walks away, Jan comes over to sit with Paul and tells him not to overthink it because just isn't into house decorating, which, valid for some people. But Paul's like, no, I know what's going on. And he knows that it's really just not being into him. And
why
he tells
are you marrying
Jan
her then? Why are we getting married to people we know don't love us? That's crazy. We need to stop doing that. It sets up toxic relationships.
Yes. Okay.
I don't get it.
You deserve better, dude. And you deserve to know that you deserve better.
Or, like, let heal. Like, again, like, his whole thing, he's like, I understand what going through a breakup, sort of, and needs to get over her ex, but she's not currently over her ex. This is like the plot of Denied Love also. It's kind of like this. And it's like, when somebody goes through a breakup, they need to heal from the breakup before they can love somebody else again. And so, like, because otherwise you get this when you force somebody into a relationship too soon who's not ready for it. Like, that's why is doing what she's doing, is because she's still heartbroken over May and hasn't processed it fully and healed enough to like let somebody else in. But here's Paul being like, I'll just wait for you forever. But it's like, wait until she's ready before you get married. Like, why force the marriage on her before she's ready?
Yeah.
You know, she's not ready for this, you know? Like, not that Paul is being mean and like being like, marry me or else kind of thing, like forcing. I just mean that like she's being forced into this marriage in a way when she's like not ready for it. Like, if you know this about it would make more sense to wait and let her heal before you get married. Like, let her get to the place where she can love you fully, you know?
Yeah. To him, he's just like, I love her so much.
Correct.
And he like tells Jan that he will make love him one day, which, you know, is a terrible way to live.
Yes.
Like, that's not a relationship.
No.
You should never be like just being like, I will make you love me one day.
No, that's weird. But also, like, again, if you love her so much and you want to support her while she heals, as she's processing her breakup, like, that's valid. Like, that's valid to be like, I care about you so much. I want you to get better. I want you to feel better. I don't want you to cry every day. That's valid. And it's like, we get some, and like, again, we did get the flashback. Didn't we already get the flashback of Boom getting proposed to? From by Paul. I can't remember.
I don't think so.
I can't remember if we get that, but like they did have happy moments. It's not like they didn't leading up to this. It's just that like is clearly not okay and needs therapy, and like he should help her with that. Not like be like, let's just get married and maybe that will be therapy. It's like weddings are not therapy. Like she needs.
Well, it's the same thing that people do are like, okay, let's have a kid. Maybe that'll be the goal.
Right? No, they just bringing somebody else into this. You didn't ask to be in the middle of your drama.
At least they didn't do that. They didn't get to that point.
Oh my god,
maybe
no, they could have.
It would have gotten to that point.
They have the potential to have children. Yeah, exactly. Like, oh my god, no, that would have fucked up everything even more. Like, no, don't do that. So I'm just saying, like, that mentality that, like, again, May brought up of, like, would you forgive me no matter what? That's Paul. Paul is the I will forgive you no matter what character. And, like, it ends up being to his downfall and demise, like, because that is toxic to just, like, whether it's meant to be malicious or not, it's toxic for Paul because he's willing to, like, literally sacrifice everything for when, like, is not an equal partner at this point in the relationship because she can't be. She's not healed enough for that. And so it gets toxic because like not ready for this yet. You know.
No.
They shouldn't have gotten married.
They shouldn't have.
No, like they should have waited until was better.
And then Paul, he'd still be alive.
Exactly. And like so, like, anyway, bottom line is, like, Paul needed to love himself and also and, like, date her when she's better. Like, she's not okay, and you know that. Weddings are not the same as therapy, and I feel like romance novels get that wrong. It's not therapy. It's a party, a very expensive party, and then it's a legally binding party.
It's a legally binding party, yeah.
It's a legal contract getting married. It's a business deal. Like, anyway. Maybe he's like, let's get married so I can pay for your therapy with my health insurance. And then that's valid. If that's why they were doing it, he's like, yeah, I'll get you therapy for free.
That is a valid reason.
That's valid. It's like, I'll wait this out. Yeah, exactly. That's valid. But like that was not communicated to us, the audience. But that would make sense.
That would make
unfortunately that would make sense. Because capitalism.
That's something that would happen here.
Right. So like maybe that was back in Paul's mind. Who knows?
Anyway.
Back
to present day. Jan is explaining all of this to Pang and tells her that if she knows what she does now, she would have told Paul not to waste his last days with someone who doesn't love him.
Yes.
Because
yes.
Yeah, dude.
Same for
That's no way to live. And Pang asks if she really could have told Paul, like, to live without when she's friend. And Jan's like, it's because I'm friend that I have more reason to tell him this. Yeah. Because she knows and she knows that her feelings are not just going to change with time. Like, there's so much more going on that this dude just needs to move on. And then Pang asks Jan if her helping I has anything to do with And Jan tells her that she wants to redeem her friend's sin.
Yeah. So again, Jan is ride or die. So obviously her motivation is not I, because she's not friends with I the way Pang is. And I think this is one of those like karma things where like Jan knows everything. Jan knows everything. Jan knows why is not okay in that flashback and why is so emotionally detached from Paul. And she knows the truth of like May and like why was like, go get her eye and all that shit. Jan knows all that shit. And she's trying to like make up for the bad things that did while she was heartbroken, because we'll come to find out that I mean, what we know now doesn't make look like a good person. So like obviously was making like not great decisions because she was not in a great headspace. And like here's Jan, who's privy to those things. And it led to like Paul's death, all this shit with May. Like, and so she's like, did bad things. So like I'm trying to make up for that by like by having good faith, which was getting I with May. And she's like, if we can accomplish that, then like that will be some good that put out in the universe, because is the one that set that in motion, right? So I think that's why Jan is invested with the I and May stuff, because she's like, if that can get accomplished, maybe will have good karma, and then maybe the coma will end. You know what I mean? Because like that would be good that she put in the universe, kind of thing. So I think, and we know that Jan is like superstitious and believes very much in all of that, hence the fortune telling. So I think that invests Jan a lot in this particular mission, because she doesn't know I. Why would she be so invested in I? And like, May hurt So like, as the ride or die, like you wouldn't be trying to make May happy. You're like, you made my friend sad. Like, you know what I mean? So like, it makes sense, like from a karma perspective, like why Jan would be so invested in this. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because she is a really good ride or die and wants the best for at the end of the day, too.
Yeah, so I think cosmically that's kind of like what's going on here with Jan.
Yeah. With their conversation, Pang then questions the redeem part of what she said, because she doesn't understand what's happening. And Jan just tells her that one day she will understand.
But it's like, Jan, that day could be today if you just fucking told her. Why are you keeping all these secrets? Like, just tell her, Jan. Tell Jan.
Maybe because she doesn't think it's her place to. But I mean, she just told her that didn't love her husband.
Right. So, like, come on, Jan. Come on, Jan.
Yeah. Anyway, we end this scene on a shot that is like another really great use of the rule of thirds. So in the lower left hand corner, we see Pang and Jan sitting on the stairs, or is it the couch?
The stairs.
Stairs. Okay. And in the top right hand, sorry, I get my left and right confused. Right hand of the frame, we see pictures of what I'm assuming is Paul and engagement photo shoot.
Because of the ring.
Yeah. Shot. And we just really see even more of how dark Paul's house was. Like, everything is just black. There's just a little bit of light of him like trying to showcase the relationship, be like, hey, this is the light coming in. But then he dies, and
But also interesting that they're like, I get bachelor pad vibes, but then here's Paul dedicating an entire wall to like him and Like, he put in the house, if you think about that, with these photos. Like, he's showcasing because he was clearly loved her and was very proud of her and stuff. So yeah. Bachelor pads usually don't have pictures of your girlfriend, kind of thing. So like, it says something about Paul that he did do that.
That he did not want it to be a bachelor pad.
Correct. No, he didn't.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break to give you some shout outs for our Chaos Crew members on Patreon. Woo! All right, our Chaos Crew members on the Big Gay Ride or Die tier and above are Oh, hold on. Let me get the names up so you get to actually have the names, right? Our Chaos Crew members are Amix Monzone _ multi, Ariel W, so sorry, Danny, here for it, Jill L, Cassie M, Leona, Michelle G, Monet F, Moving Forward Leading, Natalia, Regina B, Wordjipichin, Izzy N, Pooja S, Jasmine O, and Nancy D.
Woo!
And our featured Big Gay supporter members for this episode are Desiree D, Laura, and Twice _ Ty GLs.
Woo!
Thank you so much for your support. We love you, and we love all of you, whether you're on Patreon, part of the Chaos Crew, or watching, listening to this on whatever platform you consume our podcast. We really do appreciate you. We love when you send in comments and reviews so we can really see who you are. And if you can't join Patreon, that is totally fine. Come join our Discord to talk to us about Pluto, all the other content we put out, and just all the shows that are going on right now. There's so much happening. And there's so many people over on Discord who are also engaging and talking about these shows. So you'll be able to make friends over there and talk to us. And it's a great time. And it's a good community. And I'm so glad that we have it and that it's free for anyone to join.
Yeah. So go make some friends.
Yeah. Have fun and gay it up all over the place.
Yes.
All right. Back to our originally scheduled programming where we start with part 3 of episode 7.
So we're going to transition to the opening night of Ploy's restaurant.
And when we get there, we have this close-up of the lighting and bunting flags to show that Ai's recreation of the restaurant was accurate.
Yeah.
So great job. Well, Pang and Jan's recreation of the restaurant was accurate.
Because Pang and Jan got the instructions and then went out and picked out the bunting flags, hung them, took them down. Yeah, this was good job, Pang and Jan. Let's just put the credit where the credit's actually due. All right, so we've made it. It's Ploy's big night, and everyone is here celebrating how well she's done from the friend circle. Or they should be. We'll start with Tan first, because Tan actually is sincere, and he gifts her a really beautiful bouquet of flowers because he's not over her. And also that's the right thing to do.
Yeah. It's a very simple gesture, but it shows that he cares.
Mm-hmm.
And now that we watch the show back, you can definitely see how much he does care about Ploy, and he's trying to do these little things to just show I'm not that person, or I regret what happened in the past.
Yeah. No, he does care. He like he said with May, he's trying to do better, and to your point, he's actively trying. Not just with May. But we don't have the full context about Ploy yet, but little Easter eggs in there to build up the story of Tan trying to get Ploy back, basically. And it's really quick because with Ploy we don't get much from her in relation to Tan other than her being annoyed, listening to him and taking his advice, which is a good thing. And then in this scene, it's really quick, but when she gets the flower, she does look at them and smile. So there's that.
Glimmer of hope.
Right. So Tan, so she let herself be happy at his gesture. So there's that, like you said, glimmer of hope. And then, like I said, everyone should be celebrating Ploy, but then the terrible Twosome in here. And of course, they're not focused on Ploy's big night. They're more interested in whether or not May's going to show her face. So that's their priority, which again says a lot about them and how they got their nickname, the terrible Twosome.
Yes, because they show up and immediately start trying to make May look like a bad person.
Yep.
Because Thing 1 makes a comment. They're now Thing 1 and 2 in my mind because we had to differentiate between the two of them, even though they're one person, because the terrible Twosome. So Thing 1 makes a comment oh, May isn't here yet? And the way she says it is she wants to make May look like she isn't a true friend and doesn't even care to show up on time.
Yep.
Yeah. And Thing 1 seems to be the head bitch, the head rich bitch, because she is the one who gets all the lines.
Yes.
Unfortunately. Thing 2 has a couple, but Thing One, we're like, we know too much about Thing One.
Yeah, I might know more than I want to know about her.
Yeah, and I want to emphasize the bitch part because
yes,
she tells Ploy that it's probably better that May isn't here because she won't bring the problem with her, aka I. And if there was any time to quote Taylor Swift and Taylor Swift's song Anti-Hero, it's now, because this seems to be the point where Taylor sounds exhausted. Like now, like in the song, it's she keeps saying like, hi, it's me, hi, I'm the problem, it's me. And like she gets so exhausted and you can just hear it in her voice. And like at this point, now like I is just everyone, every part of her life, she's like, it's me, I'm the problem. But don't worry, soon Taylor owns being the problem, and you will too.
She did with Ploy. She's like, yep, it was me, I did it.
Like, yes, she did.
She's already on that road.
And Thing 2 has no unique thoughts and just agrees with Thing 1 by saying that I would downgrade the restaurant if she was here. At the very least, though, for Thing 2 is that she acknowledges I as May's girlfriend and not just, quote, the problem, which I guess is something.
That's something coming from Ploy. And Ploy does admit that she doesn't know what the hell May's gonna do, but it's May. And Ploy does know that May is gonna do whatever the fuck she wants to do, and that May is smart. So Ploy knows whatever May is going to do, she's thought through it 10 times over and is 10 moves ahead of us already. So, you know, what's going to happen is going to happen is basically Ploy's answer. And I do appreciate...
yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I do appreciate that Ploy compliments May sincerely when she says this, unlike the terrible twosome, because everything they say is backhanded slap in the face to May, essentially. It's like... It's a insult packaged as a compliment whenever they talk, but Ploy sincerely is like, May is smart. May does these things. Like, she's being sincere about May. And it's also what Ploy says is also, because this is high society, it's also a, you know, compliment with a threat underneath, because it's a subtle reminder to the terrible twosome not to underestimate May. Like they're doing. They're like, May's not even going to show her face. And Ploy's like, are you fucking stupid? May is going to come here and outmaneuver all of us. Have you met her before? Like, what do you mean? So, like, it's also a threat packaged as a compliment, the way Ploy says it.
Yeah. I find it so comical that Ploy literally did tell May to only come herself and not bring I. I mean, she knows that May's just going to do whatever the hell she wants.
Yeah, because Ploy was upset. And she's like, please. And she's like, fuck you, May, do this. And then May's like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. You know,
yeah, and then
both know I'm not going to do that.
And even though, like, she knows that that's going to happen, she's still complimenting May and trusting her to make the right decision.
What I assume happened was like, because remember, Ploy also said, she's like, here's what's going to happen, May. I'm going to send a car to come get you because I know you're blind and can't drive. So, like, she was considerate. She's like, I'm going to send a car that's going to come pick you up, but only you get in the car. Only you, May, are allowed in this car. And then May's like, cute. And then what I assume is that, like, May was like, you're driving, and, like, they never used the car. And it was like, I drove them. And so the driver shows up and then it's like, Miss Ploy, May's not at the hotel anymore. And that's probably how Ploy knows that May is coming with I. And she's like, fucking goddamn it. You know, it's too late now. I got so much shit to do at my own opening. So I'm sure she knows, because, like, I imagine that happened off screen. And Ploy's just like, what's going to happen is going to happen. May's already on her way with I, let's be honest. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. She's like, at the very least, May has a plan. So
yeah.
Well, I'll go put out the other fires that's happening.
Also, like, Ploy genuinely wants May there. So she's like, May's coming. She's just doing it her way. I got to accept that.
Yep.
So, all right. So then the atmosphere gets a little awkward after this because Ploy just, like, threatened them. And Ton looks off into the distance and spots the subject of interest.
Okay. And the way that Ton says May's decision is coming, like, it reminds me of the line in Macbeth, the line, something wicked this way comes. And it's like not because of the tone he says it, but like it just sounds so ominous and like they're about to see their fate. Like just something's coming towards you. So it just reminds me of that.
That's valid. And I also love May's decision as a stand-in for I's coming. I is May's decision. Yeah. Because, yeah, that's the plot of the show. All right, so May's decision arrives. So it's I and May strutting in style as they approach them. And it's like a big-ass property. So this takes a while because they like gotta like get to the car and then get up all the stairs and then like this takes a while. And the director and editors are like, this is their moment. We're all living in it. This is gonna take at least a minute of them walking. So good for them. And we get a good glimpse of their outfits. So they did choose, well, May chose the sky blue, quote, princess dress for I. And then we get a glimpse of what she's wearing, which is basically a very similar outfit to what I is wearing. So I's in the princess getup, and it's a strapless sky blue dress with these little, like, I don't know, like bubbly things. Like it's got texture to it. And then it's got like tulle at the bottom, the fabric. And it's cut in this like mermaid cut, basically, something like that. I don't know. I'm a lesbian. What do I know about dresses? But that's my best guess of what's going on with I's dress. So May picks a dress that is in the exact same style of material, where it's that blue, it's strapless also, it's blue, it's got the little bubbly things on it. Instead of the like mermaid cut thing, she's got like tulle, but it's more like sheer, so you can like see her legs through it. And then she's got this kick-ass long cape on. So like, damn, like May, like literally, like for the stylist not being super forthcoming with details, like I don't even know what the conversation was like between May and the stylist to be like, give me that, but XYZ. Like they must have been like, tell me exactly what the fuck this is made of and blah, 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 and get me a sister dress, but make it me. I mean, great job. Like it worked out, you know? And when you look at their hair later, because we'll get bathroom scenes of their hair, their hair is even in a similar style. It's like half up, half down. I's is very simple, where it's like just held together in the back, a little thin pieces holding her hair back. May's is like thin too, but it's braided. So it's their hair is even similar. So they really like coordinated, but also it's different enough to they can shine in their own way, which I think is good. It's overall, it's giving power couple.
The best power couple. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And May's facial expressions as they're walking up is giving, I ran out of fucks a long time ago. Like here she is with I. I'm here, I'm with I. Look at her. She's a princess. You can't say that she doesn't belong here. And poor I is walking next to May, like guiding her, because, you know, she's the seeing eye dog here. And I looks like she's guilty. And like also she's doing her best not to break an ankle because she's in heels. We all have seen her walk in heels. And she's not great at it. And truly, if it wasn't May asking her to do this, there's no way I would show up in heels anywhere because she doesn't like them.
No, yeah, there would definitely be like sneakers under there.
Yeah,
anything
like
else.
Sweating.
Yeah, to me looked like she was so nervous and wanted to be anywhere else. Like she's definitely not as confident as May walking.
This is not I's scene. These are not I's people. I was doing arson the last time she saw them. So like there's a lot of reasons I doesn't want to be here right now. And it's valid. You can see it on her face. But again, May ran out of fucks a long time ago. So she's like, this is going to be fine. I got this I. And like I said earlier, production gives them a solid few minutes, at least one, maybe two, to strut the catwalk towards the peanut gallery, waiting for them at the end.
Yes. And we do get glimpses of them as they're strutting. And thing one is shook. Because I and May are stunning in their coordinated dresses.
Right, yeah. Because like she's sitting there being like, how can I spin this and come up with a insult packaged as a compliment? And there is no insulting them. Look at them. Like, you got nothing. Like, May just is like, oh yeah, you got a bunch of cards in your hand. No, you don't. I just took them all and I lit them on fire. You got nothing. Like, that's what this whole production is. This is May's you got nothing and you know it move. And it also cuts to Ploy and Tons. We can see them, and Ploy does not look upset. Like, again, Ploy was the one who was like, May, you cannot bring your hooligan girlfriend. And May does it anyway, and here they are. And she doesn't look upset, because I think she found out through the driver that May was Spring Eye. But
that would make sense.
I think she already knew and accepted it. But like, again, not upset. And if you look at Ton is like, I saw this coming a mile away, because I know May my entire life. Like, I knew she was going to do this shit. Also, I went there and saw her dressing both of them. Like, you know, he did not let that slip to Ploy. He's like, well, I was there when they were dressing Anyway.
Like, so, he literally knew everything that
he literally knew. So there's that. So as I and May are slowly approaching, Ton advises the terrible Twosome to take back what she said about downgrading the restaurant, because these two are turning heads of all the other guests, and everybody seems to like what they see from this power couple walking up here. So he's like, might want to like omit that because you're very wrong. All right. And then 84 years later, I and May reach the rest of the gang, right? They finally get there. And May's plan to get away with disobeying Ploy starts with compliments, because she's like, congratulations, Ploy. You did such a wonderful job. Like, way to go, May. This was the way to go about this. Like, butter up Ploy. Then she can't be mad, even if she was. And Ploy seems very happy that she's getting a compliment, because, yeah, this is her big night. She put so much work into this. But Ploy would really like it. She doesn't say this, but she would really like it if May kept eye on a short leash tonight, because the woman has a propensity for arson. And then I apologizes in the most I way possible by committing social faux pas as she's doing something good. So she starts by addressing the terrible Twosome by saying, you guys might have foul mouths. That's how she starts her apology. Like, she's like, you guys are actually the worst. Which earns a what the fuck look by everybody, including May. May was like, you're going to apologize to them. They talked about this off screen, but they didn't go through what I was going to say. So when I says this, even May's like, oh, for fuck's sake, I really was tired to start this.
That was May's mistake. Like, you have to rehearse. Like, all right, what exactly are you going to say?
Yeah, no, they clearly, it's because when May starts talking, you'll see I's reaction. It's very evident they did not go over the script. They were just like, we're going to apologize. And that was the end of this conversation, because I get surprised by what May says. But I continues and says, but I went too far yesterday. And then there's some hesitation, and until she very quietly is like, I'm sorry. And she says it to everybody, including Ploy, which is good. And like I said, I assume I and May had some conversation off screen where they decided I was going to be the bigger person than everybody else, because here, like, this is social chess, right? Perception matters. So I initiating the apology and saying it first makes I the bigger person. I do wonder, though, off screen when May was like, here's what we're going to do. You're going to apologize. I wonder how much I protested this at first, because she does not like these people, you know?
Oh, yeah. And, like, it really could have gone either way of, like, her being accepting of it or just being like, I don't want to do it. Because, like, she could have been little child I whining that she didn't want to apologize. Like, I don't want to apologize to the rich bitches. They don't deserve it. Yeah. Or it could just be out of respect to May. Like, she knew May was right, that she had to apologize. So she's just like, I get it. I'll do it.
I think it was sequentially those two things. I think that I is initially emotional and was like, fuck that, they don't deserve it, but then came around to May's way of thinking and just did it. I think it was both.
That would make sense.
Yeah, that's what we saw I do over and over again. So I think that's what happened. Okay, so then the terrible Twosome live up to their name by not so graciously accepting the apology, which confirms their initial bias that, like, I is the troublemaker and they're just innocent. They're like, what did they have to apologize for? They were innocent. I attacked them. And then in response, Lawyer May enters the chat and she's like, objection, Your Honor. Both sides were at fault, okay? And then, I'm sorry. The social chess going on here from May is just exquisite, because then, sweet as honey, May is like, if you want us to remain, quote, friends, you know what to do. And this is where, based on I's body language, when May says this, I don't think they discussed this part when they were talking about the apology. Because May, I think, to me, is really taking to heart the nobody looks down on my girlfriend thing. Because here she is being like, no, bitch, you are definitely going to apologize to, quote, And she's like, you know what to do. You know what to do. Because she doesn't say you need to apologize to She's like, you know what to do, girls. And credit to the terrible twosome for recognizing that lawyer May is here, okay? Because they're like, wow, what the fuck? Are you gonna like are you threatening us? You gonna sue me? Like, what the fuck? Because like, surprising to no one, immediately they're defensive and still playing victim. Like they're still playing to the fact that like we didn't do anything, we're innocent. What the hell? And I love that they use the word threaten us, right? Because where's the threat? Where's the threat exactly? Is May removing her connection and the privileges you get from that a threat? Is there subtext for a defamation lawsuit here that May's hinting at? Like, because everything she says is there's subtext below everything May says. Again, it's compliments or what you see here, but like underneath, there's always something else, right? So where was the threat, guys, that you're picking up on? All May said was like, you know what to do if you want us to be friends.
So they're reading into that a lot.
Where's the threat? Where's the threat, ladies? And by some miracle, Ploy does something. She tells the terrible twosome, Ploy's the one who tells the terrible twosome to apologize or she's going to force them to leave. And like, good for you, Ploy, for actually doing something. You're doing it to keep time. You're doing it to keep the peace for your business, but still, you did an action, and we've been waiting for you to do an action the whole time. And this is novel, right? Because the terrible twosome are shocked that Ploy did something, and also isn't siding with them because they're innocent. Why wouldn't anyone immediately believe them?
They couldn't do anything wrong. They've never done anything wrong in their entire lives, Theora.
No, never. But Ploy insists. She's like, I'm not taking anybody's sides. I'm taking the side of righteousness, which is such a political BS way of being like in the middle. Like Ploy, for fuck's sake. Can't even take a side when she's taking a side. I love that. All right. And with no allies left, the terrible twosome begrudgingly apologized to I. But of course, before the apology, they have to quickly clarify to Ploy, I'm only doing this for the sake of your event. I'm not actually sorry about what the fuck I did. What they're saying is I'll pretend to be a good person for show to keep the peace.
I'm surprised they actually said that though, like, because that's showing more of their cards than you'd think they'd want to. But
you'd think
they also don't care.
You'd think that's an inside thought, you know, that's a thought you don't say out loud. That was really fucking stupid. And like, but not that anybody thought this, whatever you said was going to be sincere anyway. But that's them being like, this is not sincere, what I'm about to say. And now that everything is settled, the terrible twosome leave and everyone else takes a collective breath of relief that they're fucking gone. And Tan comments, that ended faster than he expected. And May's like, no, that went exactly as I thought it was going to go down. And just like Ploy said, May thought this all the way through before she came here and said anything. Because, she explains it right here. She's like, well, the terrible twosome value their privilege more than their pride. And May knows that she is more valuable to them as their, quote, friend than their enemy. And then she very candidly explains, she's like, well, I represent one of their husband's business clients, so I could make trouble there if I really wanted to. And the other one, my father is her father's boss. So they know that. And so here's what I thought was really revealing about that. So May not only holds social power over them because she's wealthier, she's a lawyer, she also has the power to fuck with them financially through her very powerful business connections. So she's out connected compared to them, right? And they fucking know that. So they come in and they're jealous of May because of that. She has power over them and they hate that. And if you didn't know that I was into Lawyer May, just watch her during the scene when May is explaining her, like, she's like, here's my royal flush and how I did this. Eyes into Lawyer May. Just look at her. She's like, God damn it, that was attractive. Like you just did. You just outmaneuvered everyone. And I had no idea what was happening.
I wonder how many times Eyes just is like, damn, she's good. Damn, she looks good in her head every time she does things like this.
I is the type of later on, I is the person who's like, that's my wife. Like that's not later. Because yeah, no, this was fucking impressive. Like it's one thing to know May is smart. It's another thing to see her in action and be like, wow, you just. I thought I was coming to apologize and degrade myself, and the way you just like we're like, oh no, you're definitely, without saying it, she's like, you're definitely fucking apologizing, my girlfriend. Trust me, or I will destroy you. Like again, this is May protecting I, and I think I again was like, oh, I didn't expect you to come in here and protect me socially and get me an apology, even though it was fake. Like that was May protecting I with again by playing politics and winning. And she's like, I already knew I was going to win this, so you know.
Yeah,
here we are. Because really, like, she just could have come in and been like, if I didn't commit arson, she could have just came in and been like, you're going to apologize to her right now. If you still want us to be friends, you know.
Friends.
But I had to commit arson. Anyway, then this part's weird. Tan is still in disbelief that May out-masterminded everybody. And his reaction surprises me because, like, he knows her.
Yeah, he knows her probably better than anyone
right
at this point. Like they've had so much history. You would think that he'd be like, yeah, that totally tracks.
Right, exactly. It's like par for the course when it comes to May. I don't know why he's shocked. Maybe so he's just like, I'm standing close to Ploy and I don't know what to do with myself. And he's not thinking clearly, which would excuse it. But like, this was a weird line from him because yeah, he knows her. He's seen her in action. And Ploy, for some reason, is the one that flexes that she knows May better than Tan. And she's like, I fucking knew this was going to happen. Because have you just met May? This is the smartest girl in any room. Like, she was the smartest girl in class growing up. Like, what do you mean she wasn't going to win this?
It seems like Tan and Ploy are just like switching off and on who knows May for that scene.
Yeah,
because it was like Tan being like, oh no, it's not about you, or like it's about the people, and like she doesn't want to be pitied in that one scene. And now it's like Ploy's like, oh no, she's a mastermind. Don't you know this about her?
Well, like even like the start of this conversation when Ploy's like, I don't know what May's gonna do, and Tan's like, I'm pretty sure I know what the fuck she's gonna do. And then like he's like, I know May, and then he's like, May, I can't believe you pulled it off. It's like, what? Anyway, this is weird.
It was.
I think he's flustered being this close to Ploy. I would excuse it with that. Okay, but I like that Ploy admits that like May has always been the smartest girl. Like even when they were in school, like May has always been top of the class, and she's like nobody can beat her when it comes to that. And again, cuts to I, and I's face is like, damn, my girlfriend's a hot nerd. I can't wait to kiss that smile off her face. Because like May gets really happy when Ploy compliments her, and then I just looks at May like she's a snack. So good for you. And honestly, it's really nice to see May smiling and being victorious because we haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
And then the party begins. And we get a montage of fancy food, lights, and the dance floor where I and May are dancing.
I just want to point out that there's an extreme close-up shots of the light bulbs, which just made me laugh because why?
I don't know.
Sometimes the transitions make no sense.
I know.
It's okay. I love you guys, Pluto production. It's just this decision sometimes make me laugh.
Like the one close-up of the light outside of May's house, and you're like, we're at May's, and it's this light.
This one was even closer to it. It was but literally just the light bulb, and then you get like blurred shots of all the other lights.
Yes.
Beautiful.
I'm not saying it's not. It's just very weird. Weird choice.
And another, we were just talking about the rack focusing and how it doesn't always make sense.
I love them.
We rack focus from champagne to the dessert that's behind it. I don't know why that was necessary, but they just like their transitions that are rack focus, and
they do
take any opportunity to use them. So
yeah, that's where I'm at. I think the director was obsessed with rack focuses. Because there's a lot. Once you start noticing them, they're everywhere in the show, especially transitions. They're everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But back to May and I, they're off in their own little bubble, just being happy, and it's really, really fucking cute.
They're the only couple dancing together. Everyone else is just like kind of standing around talking. And like they're the ones actually dancing together, and it's really cute.
Yeah. And Ploy and Han are watching them dance, probably wishing they can dance with each other, at least Han. And then as they're dancing, I loses her balance because she's in heels and like falls over. And during the sequence, I noticed it seemed like they had a handheld cam here, which would make sense because it was very rocky and it was like off kilter, the angle, which conveys one, I falling because she's literally off balance, and then May panics. So it's like the emotional instability and then like the physical instability when I fall. So like I thought that was a good directing choice. So May's instantly worried. She's like, are you okay? Like, what the fuck just happened? Because she can't see. Yeah. And then she asks, not used to the heels yet. And if I was a better spy, she'd pick up on the fact that May asked this because she knows she's not Because could wear heels. That's how I shows up at the house wearing heels. The first time she has to cosplay regularly wore them.
She literally wears them for work.
Right. So May knows that. So this was a really weird question directed at But of course, I doesn't pick up on that because all she hears is May cares about me. And because I want May to care about her, not not anybody else. So like she's into the concern, you know. Okay, so I responds honestly, like as herself, I don't wear heels often. Which again, if May knew May, this is a dead giveaway. You are not your fucking sister who wears them all the time. I came here as herself is the thing. Like I hasn't been for a very long time. She's in name only at this point. Like she keeps saying things where it's very evident she's not And May is also dropping hints to be like, I know you're not
Just tell me.
Just fucking tell me. Somebody tell me your name, right? And like, obviously, like, and then May's really cute because she doesn't care, honestly, that I doesn't wear heels often. Like, she does not care about that. In fact, she like seems happy. I think she finds it charming that I is different, you know, actually. And that I is being honest and saying this because again, if she was being she wouldn't say I don't wear heels often because that is clearly not And then I love that May's like, I'm glad you're bad at wearing heels because that means you can't run away from me easily tonight. It's just so valid. It's so funny.
It really is.
It's so fucking funny. Because, like, again, the whole thing is that I's here because May's nervous to be here, and I promised I won't leave you. And May's like, well, now I know for sure you're not leaving me because you cannot run away from me in these heels. We're not getting separated. And then May's really cute. She's like, how about this, since you're not steady in them heels, how about you just lean on me? Because I was born in heels. I got this. I'll be your rock. Okay, that you can lean on. And then since I can't see, you'll lead me. Okay. And that way I won't fall and we get to dance together. And that's compliments right there. I love that. Because like, damn, Aya's doing a good job of leading when they're dancing. I'm not going to lie.
Well, yeah, she's smooth here.
Fucking smooth. Aya goes from being a disaster to being smooth in like a blink of an eye. It's kind of amazing. And so after May says this, though, she's like, how about we do this? You lean on me while you lead. Aya is like, yes. And like, starts leading. She takes May's hands and put them around her neck and then puts her hands back on May's waist and they start dancing again. It's really cute. I does it. She's just like, without saying it, of course. She doesn't say things. She does actions, right? And then they start dancing again, and it's really, really cute to see how happy they are when they're dancing, because I closes her eyes. I, who just fell in heels 30 seconds ago, closes her eyes and starts dancing. And she looks so peaceful and happy, which is so rare for I, right? To just look peaceful. And here, of all places, this is not her scene, not her clothes, not her shoes. And like, look at her. She looks so comfortable in this moment. It's kind of amazing. And to me, that just speaks to how May makes her feel happy and safe, even when she's well outside of her comfort zone, right?
May's her home.
Yeah, and also the way May said that, she's like, it's okay if you're unsteady, I'll be steady when you're not. It's like a really good, like that line was really good. It's a good like partnership kind of line, right? And it's cute in this dancing too, because I looks just so happy, and so does May, because from May's point of view, she's like, I can finally show off I in public. Because contrary to the terrible Twosome and Ploy and what they think, like May is proud of I, and she's proud to be with I. And I imagine she just really wants the world to see I the way she does. And like, here's her opportunity to be like, you're gonna see just how fucking amazing she is. Like, I'll just put her in the clothes so you guys won't judge her, and then just let her personality shine through from there, and you'll see how amazing she is and why I'm into her so much, right?
Yeah, this is literally what she wanted to do. This is what she told I. That's why she wanted to go.
Yeah, she wants to show her off.
They're so cute.
She's winning. May is always winning.
She is.
And then unfortunately, as they're dancing, the lights randomly go out, like all of them, and there's no electricity in the whole of this new restaurant.
Ploy is not always winning.
No, Ploy is usually not winning. And so then everyone starts like, you just hear like audible, like, oh my God. And there's kids crying. And like, it just like, it devolves from like happiness to chaos at like the blink of an eye. And I is like still holding May, who can't see what's happening. And then starts like, I think she's worried because like people start kind of getting unsettled, and starts like rubbing May's arm to like comfort her without telling her what's happening. And so May's like, enough. And this finally like, what's happening? Tell me what's happening. I can't fucking see you.
It's like, you gotta tell me.
You gotta tell me, And then I's like, oh, the power just went out. So then Ploy jumps in, because like, of all the things to happen on her first day of this restaurant, where these aren't just normal guests at the opening. These are like influential people to hype up the restaurant so the restaurant can be successful. So of all the people for this to happen to, this is like the worst crowd, right? So Ploy's like, fuck. So she jumps into damage control by immediately apologizing profusely. And she's like, I don't know what's happening, but I'm going to get to the bottom of this shit. And it's so sad because Ploy did everything within her power to make sure that this went smoothly, and then like, here we are, right? So she suggests, she's like, how about everybody goes inside? So everybody, I don't know why she's ushering them inside. I guess so they're safe, less mosquitoes.
Yeah, I feel like that's worse to go inside because it'd be darker.
That's what I'm saying. But anyway, Ploy's like, go inside so nobody gets injured, maybe. And then she runs away to go figure out what the fuck is happening. And then the minute Ploy leaves, nobody does anything. Everyone's just kind of standing there. So then Ton steps in, and he's like, no, for real. Like, let's listen to the hostess. Let's get inside. So he like immediately jumps in and starts doing what Ploy asked.
And I love seeing that he's really trying to step up and show Ploy in little ways that he cares. Because it's just another way he's like, oh, I need to help her. I need to be there for her.
She needs help. May can't do it because she can't see. The terrible Twosome's not going to do it. I is holding May right now, who can't see. So like, yeah, he's the one. Everybody looks scared. So I love that he steps in and he enacts Ploy's plan really quickly as they're like freestyling what the fuck they're going to do, right? And then I assume he like gets everybody inside or like gets them going. At least Liz like, no, for real, get the fuck inside. And they start going. And then he goes and follows Ploy to the source of the shenanigans, right? And Ploy is with a staff member in the back by the electrical outlets, or not outlets, but the electrical stuff. And they're trying to fix this. And Ploy mentions that there's a fuse that blew because they used too much power and it's going to take a while to fix it.
I'm not an electrician, but shouldn't you just be able to reset it? Because, and like the breaker, but I know that's what the guy's doing right now, so I guess there must be another issue with it.
They have more dialogue later where they're like, one of the fuses broke, so they have to replace it.
Oh,
yeah,
that's right.
So then Ploy word vomits her panic to Ton, and she's basically says like, this, my dream is turning into a fucking nightmare right before my eyes. And to his credit, Ton, again, like in the prior scene, just like slips seamlessly into being her rock the way May was Eyes rock a minute ago. And he clarifies with the mechanic, like it's going to take 30 minutes to get the new fuse and install it before they can get the power back. And like, that's not too bad, right? It's like not too much of a period of time. You got hungry people out there, like 30 minutes, like not too bad, right? And Ton is very sweetly like the optimist here. He's like, don't worry, Ploy, the guests will understand. It's like, have you met privileged people, Ton?
Like, no, apparently he has not. Like, this is, if they're writing reviews about tonight, this is definitely happening.
Yeah.
This is going in there.
It's going in there.
This is terrible.
This is bad.
Baton holds his hand out for Ploy to take as he says, let's go talk to your guests. I won't let you face this nightmare alone. Because he may have left her alone before, but he's not going to make that mistake again. And this is him waving the little white flag and hoping that Ploy comes back to him. But Ploy is really hurt. There's so much going on tonight. And she just stares at his hand. And she debates taking it. Because she doesn't just immediately leave. But ultimately, like the history of him letting her down in the past wins over. And like she just brushes past him. Because this is an extremely important night to her. And the last thing she needs to do is be reminded of her past. And like she wasn't able to rely on him in the past, so like what makes her believe that she could now? Like you gave her no reason to.
Right.
And this is too big of a night to try to put faith in you.
Right, exactly. She's like, this is literally my worst nightmare. Now you're here trying to help. You fucked up my life before. Like, no. Of all the people, it's that.
Basically, now is not the time, Ton. Even though your intentions were good.
Yeah. So they still have their work cut out for them. All right. So while that's happening, we cut back to the guests who are gathering inside at Ton/Ploy's request. And they're using their phones as a lighting source to like kind of like get in the big giant space that is this restaurant.
Meanwhile, the terrible Twosome are being themselves and are just standing around talking about how they feel bad for Ploy and how people are going to start leaving soon. And like you pointed out, like these bitches didn't even try to help or ask Ploy if they could do anything. At least Ton took initiative, and I and May are about to help Ploy out. No one realizes that yet, but they are. These two are just useless.
Well, these two are like manual labor. Never heard of her. Like, what were they going to do? They got no skills. They can't throw money at this. Like, they literally can't do anything. Also, they don't know what responsibility is. So,
yeah,
they were never
the biggest one.
So we cut from them and transition to I guiding May inside the building. And once I finds a suitable location for them to stand, she like stops them and asks May if she's okay. And it's just really sweet how much I cares about May in this situation. She's like, this is scary. May, are you okay?
Yeah. Because also it's probably helping her too. Like, because like, she has someone else to focus on. Not that she would be scared either. I'm sure she's been in the dark. The dark's really not that scary. No, it's just like the whole situation is scary for Ploy.
Yes, I doesn't care about this event. She cares about May. Like she doesn't give a shit about the restaurant opening.
And May seems a little too happy when she's talking about how she's fine, because no one is more familiar with darkness than she is. And to her, the field is like more level now, like the playing field, because everyone else also can't see what is going on. So, maybe now you'll learn that you have to talk. You won't, but
she won't.
Everyone else will realize like what it's like to be in the dark. Like, not that May would wish for everyone else not to see, but there's like a sort of comfort knowing that you're not alone. Because like now May is no longer the odd one out. Like, no one's going to be pitying her because no one can see.
Yep. So now that she knows May is okay, I relaxes a little bit because she seemed pretty tense before that. And then she starts like scoping out the place, like she's trying to find a solution or an exit. I don't know. I think her street skills are kicking in and she's like, where's the exits? I don't know what she's doing. And what's cute is that like she does not let go of May's hands like once throughout this entire ordeal. Like the minute this shit goes down, she does not let go of her because that's Ai's like protective instinct on display.
Yeah. Ai's a protector.
She is. Like naturally, yes.
Yeah. And then May, who was happy because, she has no reason to be worried about the dark right now. Like, her happiness quickly dissipates when the child starts crying and like she hears it more. And because like although she's used to the darkness, everyone else isn't, and there's nothing that she can do to help Ploy right now.
This was really cute the way May is like, because initially I was like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." And then the kid cries, and then she's like, "Can I change my answer?" It's really cute the way she says it. And then she's like, "I feel bad now that I can't help Ploy," because like people are crying at Ploy's dream. Like that's not good. So May's like, "Fuck." Well,
yeah, it's supposed
perhaps
to be like
I shouldn't
the
have been
happiest
too happy.
night.
Yeah, this is Ploy's night, and May is very cognizant of that. Right? She's not like, "Oh, I feel bad for this kid." She's like, "Oh no, poor Ploy."
Yeah, because she's been talking to Ploy about this night for so long.
Well, this is a shared dream that she had with Ploy, right? So this is like kind of like May's dream too. She's living vicariously through Ploy a little bit. And like the fact that May is out here being like, crap, I wish we could help Ploy, but I don't know what to do. If only the terrible Twosome could witness this, right? Because May is not the conceited monster they paint her out to be. Here's May like putting other people first, which is basically saying is like, I don't think I'm okay because I can't help Ploy. My friend's in trouble, basically. So how could I be okay, right? And if May's not okay, that means I is also not okay.
Yes. And so I love that she just starts looking around. Ai starts looking around, thinking of a way they can help Ploy. Because when Ai's determined, she will find a way to do something.
She's scrappy.
Including arson. And helping Ploy out also means making May happy. So I would do anything right now.
Correct.
And so Ai says, let's make the best of this darkness. And then says nothing.
Classic.
And I know this was a dramatic pause for us, the audience, to wonder what they're going to do. But I can't help but wonder if May was also wondering what the hell she meant by that. Because what's the plan, Ai?
And I would think that like, oh, May trusts Ai, but like, girl, the last time Ai said that, she committed arson. So like, you should really question her, especially at Ploy's restaurant.
Yes, back to the scene of the crime.
Right.
Maybe she thinks like this bonfire of a restaurant could light things up. You never know.
You never know. And May can't see it, but instead of it's a parallel back to that scene where she's like, "What are you gonna do, Ai?" And Ai gives the devilish grin. This time, when she says that, Ai has a genuine, sweet smile at the end of this conversation. So we at least know she's not gonna commit arson.
Yeah. And then we get this beautiful, like extremely beautiful transition from the full moon to a light shining on the restaurant's wall where we get to see what Ai's big plan was. And of course, it involves telling stories, this time with shadow puppets. The thing, but the story part, like that's the thing that made May feel safe growing up. and distracted her from the parents arguing and what I used to feel connected with her sister. And so here they're now using this story to create a connection for everyone in the room while making them feel less frightened, especially like the children. They're really cute watching them do the story. And the story that they tell is of a rabbit who got hurt and went blind. Does that sound familiar to you?
Sure does.
Yeah. And the rabbit lived in darkness, in constant fear, and encountered a wolf with enormous fangs, which made the rabbit run away in fear. And then this is when the shadow puppet's eye comes in as the wolf to pretend to attack the rabbit.
And okay, when this part happens, first of all, I goes all in and is like barking and shit. Like I like commits to the wolf.
Yeah,
okay?
Very deep barks.
Woof, woof, woof. Like she commits. Like it's fucking love her. And then I love as this is happening, hard cuts to the children, the ones that were crying earlier. And we get this very quick shot of them, and two of them are very enraptured and look terrified at the wolf attacking the rabbit. Meanwhile, the third kid in the middle literally has her hands over her eyes and is like smiling. And I'm like, this is actually pretty funny.
Love that she's smiling right now as she's trying to like,
yeah.
She's like, I love this, but it's scary.
Yeah, the little actor, I don't know what she was thinking, but it's pretty funny.
So in the story, after the rabbit ran away, it encounters a hawk that wanted to eat it. And then at this point in the restaurant, Ploy walks in and is curious about what is happening because she left and it was chaos. But now everyone's just like gathered around and it's calm. So like, what the hell is happening right now?
Yeah, so we see Ploy, who now sees what I and May are doing, help her. And I think that's a huge relief for her because, like I mentioned earlier, this was May's dream also. So in a way, like this is May's way of actively participating in their shared dream from a long time ago. And this is all happening because of I, which is really sweet because I was the catalyst for the storytelling. And before we get to Ploy, we also get a glimpse of the terrible Twosome, who are enjoying the story, which, fuck you, okay?
Yeah,
fuck
yeah
you,
this isn't for you.
Go outside.
You won't even understand the meaning of this story.
You don't even go here.
You shouldn't go here.
No.
Yeah. So back to the story. The hawk is trying to eat the rabbit. And my favorite line is from I. And she says, "Just let me eat you. Surrender."
You're such a dork. Such a fucking dork.
It's just so simple and I love it so much. Anyway, the wolf conveniently appears to come to the rescue and scare the hawk away. And this is when the rabbit realizes the wolf was actually nice and they lived happily ever after. So obviously the story has to mean something, right?
Yes.
Because that's why it's here. So, and I was trying to figure out what the story means in the realm of the show. And I struggled a little bit because I not as good with metaphors. The best thing I could come up with is that I is the wolf.
Yes.
And the rabbit represents May, of course.
Yes.
Because, you know, being blind. But it also represents all the people who doubted I in the beginning. Because they thought, especially Ploy and Ton, well, I mean, the terrible Twosome too, but they're not going to change, so they're not in on it. They thought I was out to get May, but really I's intentions were pure, you know, minus pretending to be and deceiving
deception.
May. Yep. And it's not until I proves her intentions by showing up for May that they realize that she's actually good for her. And this is her big rescue moment because she was able to turn her restaurant sabotage into saving the opening. So this is where they actually see her true colors.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you're right where who the characters represent. And I think the terrible Twosome is definitely included with the hawk. The hawk was all the socialites that are like judge I when they see her because she looks unrefined and scary like a wolf with big fangs. And they're like, who is this barbarian? Right? And then I think the moral of the story is don't judge a book by its cover, and people from different social classes can be in love, and that's fine.
Yeah. Doesn't mean that they're trying to use them.
Exactly.
The story ends with I and May doing these heart hands and I staring at the happiness on May's face, and they're just so cute. And like, I did that. No, not me, but like I, the character, did that. I is the one who turned May's sadness with the situation into happiness, and that means the world to I. Like, it matters more to anything.
It's so cute. The heart hand thing is really adorable. May is the one that initiates it, which is wild. Like the way she knew where the camera, the light was. Yeah. Like May starts the heart hands and then I completes it. So that was really cute. And yeah, again, May's aim is impeccable. But overall, I thought this story scene was incredibly sweet. To your point, like not only does novels and stories in general mean a lot to both of them from a childhood level, but like both of them also love storytelling also, because May keeps telling stories to I, and then I's literally writing a novel for May. So they both also love the act of storytelling, both of them. And this is the first story that they're telling together, which I think is pretty significant. And if you watch May really closely throughout this whole thing, May is so genuinely happy when she's telling this story. Like, she's adorable the way she's just so into it and just happy to be doing this. And the way I just, like, I is obviously having fun being a wolf and like doing all that stuff because it's I, but like she mostly is looking at May, not really everybody else, because that's what I always does. And I think like I's face is just like, I'm very proud of May right now. Like she just looks proud of May, which is awesome because like in the dance scene, May was proud of I. So like here we have these like complementary things happening where like one character is proud of the other, and then next scene is the opposite, right? And then my question though is like, where did they get the materials for the rabbit? Because like I uses her hands to do the wolf, and then they use hands to do the hawk, but there's a cutout for the rabbit. Where did they, at Ploy's fancy opening restaurant, like where did they get materials to make a rabbit shadow puppet?
That's a great question.
I probably went in the kitchen and was like, I know my way around that kitchen, and like found some shit. Like, to be honest with you, it's probably what happened. But yeah, I don't know. Like, where did that come from? Because they use like their phones as lights, which makes sense because people are already using their phones to like look through this place. Anyway, I was just like, that's weird, but it's cute, so I'll excuse it. And I love that both of them, not just I, like were using character voices. Like May was doing it too, and it's just like, it's really, really adorable how into this they both were and how they committed to it. This thing they were doing on the fly. And
they're committed.
They're committed. And I think overall, it's just really sweet how the two of them work together to turn a scary moment like this power outage into something fun and positive. And I think that would be memorable for people at this thing. Like, they just left a really powerful impression on everybody in this room. And the whole point is to like make people feel good so they'll recommend this place, right? Because it's what that saying, right? Nobody's going to remember what you said. They remember how you made them feel. Like, they're not going to remember this fucking story, but they're going to remember how they felt from this. And that's going to help Ploy ultimately.
And it just became dinner and a show.
Yeah, exactly.
Way to turn it around.
Yeah. So they didn't know that was going to happen. So surprise show. And again, it made everybody happy. And upon the conclusion of May and I's story, the power comes back on. Imagine that. So the whole thing took 30 minutes to set this up. They brought chairs inside. Somebody made a rabbit, and like then they did this, and then boom, the fuse is back and installed. And then this is really cute because they stand up to be like, "Hey, we're done." The power comes back on. Nobody tells May, and then everybody just starts clapping. So was the clapping for the power? Was it for I and May? Who knows? Because it happens at the same time. And
good point.
yeah, credits to I. She very quickly tells May the power's back on, May, because people are clapping. Could have been for you guys. And I have to note that when they stand up, we get the shot of like the phone that was, or the flashlight or whatever they were using, and the Pluto candles. The Pluto candles make a lot of appearances in this particular episode, and here are the Pluto candles. Somebody found them. I think I brought these and put them on the table because, like, here they are, the Pluto candles. So, congrats to our winner for the Pluto candle.
Yes.
There it is. It could have been one of those candles. Who knows? And then, okay, and so people are clapping, and I love that these two dorks bow simultaneously. Like, they didn't discuss this. May just knew it was her cue to bow, and I bows with her, and this is really cute. And then we get like a panning of the crowd being excited, and even the fucking terrible Twosome was happy and clapping. And like, we see them doing this, but they would never admit this to May's face. Let's be honest. That they liked this and they were happy.
Well, I mean, they might, just to be like, that was a great story, but they wouldn't be like, oh my gosh, that was such a great decision.
Right, that's what I mean.
You guys really saved it. Yeah.
No. They'd be like, you did a thing, Meg, congrats. But they would never be like, yeah, exactly, elaborate. And then we get Ploy and Ton, and Ploy says to Ton that she remarks that she's never seen this side of May before. Because here's May just being like unabashedly happy and playful, and she was just doing character voices. Like, that was not Lawyer May who came up here and did this, right? Like, who is this woman and what is this and why she's so happy? So Ploy's comment to me speaks to how well May masks around her, quote, close friends. First of all, that they never see this side of her. But more importantly, I think for everybody that sat there and judged I and May's relationship at face value, now has tangible evidence that I is good for May. And I appreciate that Ploy even gives I credit in this conversation and says that I is the one that brings this brightness out in May. Like, she can finally recognize and be like, that's why they're into each other. I get it now. She's not a gold digger. It's because look at how fucking happy May is. And Ploy and Ton can see also I being very physically affectionate with May also. So it's like, it becomes less of a mystery why these two are together, honestly, because like the whole time they're up in front of the stage, like I is being very intimate with May. Like, she's like rubbing her arms, holding her hands, she like pulls her in closer, and she's just only looking at May and giving those heart eyes. Like, that's not, like, I is not a good actor. Like, she's not faking it. Like, you can just very clearly see the affection on her face constantly, like with May. And May is actually showing it back too, because most of the time she's stone-faced. So it's hard to read her. But here it's just the mask is off because May is just having fun with I, and like she doesn't mask around I, you know?
Yeah, because she doesn't have to there. And like that's the only person that, but now like other people are getting to see.
Yes. Yeah.
Their bubble is bubbling outside of their safe space.
I think
it's nice to see them just being themselves.
Right. I think that they were in their bubble doing the story, but like other people can see in the bubble because the bubble's transparent. And so that's why Ploy is like, wow, I've never seen this side of May before. Because this is the side of her, the stuff that she only shows I, because she feels safe with I. And like, here it is. Like, so that is something that her friends learned because they've never seen this from her before, which is also amazing. And I think like part of it is that, what were they doing? They were doing a story with shadow puppets. And I think it's a way that because I came up with this plan, right? I think I is very, at this stage, she can very easily bring out May's inner child, especially here where they're connecting it over stories because I knows May loves them. And like, in order to do shadow puppets, you have to be childish because you have to do voices and like, it's a playing game while you're storytelling versus just like telling a story from memory.
Yeah, you have to go all in on it.
Right. So like it requires your inner child to be present, right? And so of all the people that only know Lawyer May, they would never see like inner child May, you know? So this was like a unique event for people that knew May. And we're like, wow, what is this?
I love that Ploy looks genuinely happy for May. And it's just so great to see the contrast between like the first time we meet her to now, because she was so skeptical and like you're like, can't you just see that May is happy? And like now she's like, oh, I do see it. I do accept this. And she's really putting May first now and appreciating the fact that this is exactly what May wants. And really, Ploy is kind of being the biggest person here because she could have held a grudge against I for what she did. But she knows that I did it out of love for May, and she can see how good I is for May, that she's just willing to let it go right now. And that is growth. Again, it's still for like, we still have the whole like my restaurant opening night. They saved that, so that's great.
That's a big thing for Ploy, and like, yeah, it is totally okay for Ploy to be like focused on the restaurant at the debut, especially when something catastrophic happens, like the power goes out, and then she has to deal with it while keeping all these high society people happy.
Yeah.
And then here she comes back and she's like, oh, May and I are doing something. It goes really well. And then she's like, oh my God, look at how bright May is. Like, she uses the word bright, like she's shining, and May doesn't shine like that normally. She's like, wow, okay, I get it now. I get it now. Like I think she really sees like, oh, May is really in love with this person. I can actually see it now. Like, this isn't for show. Like, this isn't some like weird thing. Like, May is genuinely in love with this person. Like, damn.
Yeah.
They've known each other. They really have known each other for a long time, you know?
Yeah.
So. All right. Well, we're going to conclude our discussion of episode 7 here, and we will come back next time to wrap up the episode with the highly anticipated confession scene. That's one of the best scenes in the whole show. So we will get there, and we will give it the time that it deserves because it's so good.
It is.
It is. My gosh.
But before we end, we have to do our Taylor Swift songs for this part that we've talked about.
I mean, you already threw Antihero in there. What else do you got?
I did throw Antihero in there in that because I forgot I did that when I put my Taylor Swift song in here. I also have You're Losing Me. And that one's for Ton and Ploy. And because the lyrics are, and the air is thick with loss and indecision. I know my pain is such an imposition. Now you're running down the hallway. And you know what they all say. You don't know what you got until it's gone.
Ooh, damn.
So, like, Ton's realizing that what he had, and that his indecision, like, because he didn't decide for himself. He just let himself be told what to do.
Yep.
And break up with Ploy. And now he's just running after her, and he's realizing that it's not going to be easy. Like, he's got to live with his actions.
Yep. It's also like, it reads better from Ploy's point of view, because she's like, that, like, because when he puts his hand out to like, I'll be like, I'll help you, Ploy, and she pauses, like, you could just insert these lyrics there where like the air is thick with loss and indecision, they're past, and then Ploy is being like, I know my pain is such an imposition to you, and now you're
this is Ploy's point of view,
exactly,
because like he's the one running down the hallway,
and you don't know what you got those guys, but it's got like Ploy's anger as the woman that was hurt very much. So love that. All right. I'm going to go with Paper Rings, which is an Us the Series coded song, by the way, but from the Lover album. But I'm going to use it as an explanation for like when I was coming up with this plan to do story time, and then having the heart eyes while they're doing it. And while May does anything really during the story time. So this is I being like, I got this, May. And she's like, what do you mean? And then I's like, kiss me once because I know you had a long night. Kiss me twice because it's gonna be all right. 3 times because I've waited my whole life. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's her being like, trust me, May, I got this. It's not gonna be bad. I know it's been a long night. You don't believe me because of last time, but like, trust me, it's gonna be fine. And then they hit the countdown to when they're doing this. Although it would be Nong Song Sam, like they would be saying. But anyway, and then they do the thing, and like what's going through Ai's head anytime she looks at May is, I like shiny things, but I'd marry you with paper rings. Because here they are with like a paper cutout doll doing hand puppets. And then, darling, you're the one I want. I hate accidents, except when we went from friends to this. From Ai's point of view, this is an accident. Because she's like, I'm supposed to break up with Twosome. And then, darling, you're the one I want. In paper rings, in picture frames, in dirty dreams. Oh, you're the one I want. That's I being like, I'm definitely in love with her for real. Like, that was her whole face the whole time they did story time. So there you
go. That is valid. That, yep. I like that.
Yep. All right. Big Gay Energy Award. What do we got for the Big Gay Energy Award today?
You know, well, it's not big gay energy, but just I love that Pang showed up for Ai. Like she's Jan. Just
Anytime Jan's on screen. It's just Jan. Pang. That's a good one. I'm gonna give it to Lawyer May. Lawyer May, during the dress-up game for Ai, first of all, and then bossing Ai around. And then because nobody's allowed to look down on her. And then we get to the wedding, not the wedding, we might as well then. We get to the debut of the restaurant, and the way she was like coerced the terrible Twosome into into apologizing to Ai because nobody looks down on her girlfriend. All of that was big gay energy, all of it, because it was all designed to get Ai the apology she deserves because nobody looks down on her. Good job, Lawyer May. Also, the bitch being thirsty and being like, I wish I could see right now. Like, also the thirst. That had a lot of big energy. Good job, May. And then being mad at Ton because Ton comes in and breaks it up and she's like, fuck you, Ton.
Yeah, I think May gets the big energy award in this episode.
It's definitely May. It's definitely May. God damn, Lawyer May. Lawyer May is something else. This would have been a whole different show if it was Lawyer May.
Damn. Could you imagine if we got like a lawyer procedural show? We wouldn't get as much character development.
I don't need a procedural. I just need Lawyer May to show up to scenes and just have all that confidence coming off of her because it's something. It's something. It's very entertaining.
All right. We've come to the time where I give you a challenge to do if you've made it this far in the episode, because that's how we know that you've listened to this whole thing, and these episodes are long, so we appreciate you sticking in there with us. So I think today's question is going to be, if Ai and May did not do shadow puppets and tell a story to save the restaurant, how else could they have saved the night?
Oh.
My only thought right now is like setting up the flashlight so there's a little bit of light and like doing the tango. And like they're not good at it, but just trying to do the tango.
I feel like that would potentially be dangerous with the dark, but and eyes and heels. But that's one idea. I think like they would get themselves in trouble by accident because again, storytelling. So they'd be like, well, why don't we just tell you a very hypothetical story about how we met, and they start talking about themselves, and then like it gets off the rails, and it almost gets to Ai confessing that she's Ai, and then the lights come back on, and everybody gets distracted.
I love that. Yeah.
Because that would happen because we must have drama scenes.
Yep. So, all right. Well, let us know what your what you would think they would do instead of what happened.
I'm surprised I didn't start a bonfire because she loves fire. Like
seriously,
she lit candles, but that's not the same as starting a fire.
Like she would go to the kitchen because she knows
that room.
Yeah, she knows the kitchen, and she also is like not afraid to talk to the workers.
No.
And is like, all right, do we have any marshmallows? And like they just start making s'mores. I don't think the s'mores are
that would never happen at this restaurant. She'd be like, we'll start a bonfire and can you sing? Do you play music? And like
who has like
what do street kids do? Like she's like, let's like improv some like fun without money. Like, and the help would understand that.
Yeah. Who has a can? Let's play kick the can. In the dark.
In the dark, yeah. The problem is you're in the dark, so it has to be like singing because that doesn't involve.
Well,
like,
the bonfire is still there. I'm thinking that they move to the outdoors again. There's a bonfire.
All right. Well, you guys let us know what you think, and like I said, we'll be back next time to wrap up episode 7. Until next time, hydrate for lesbian Jesus,
and gay it up all over the place.
Bye.
Bye.
And with that, we've been Big Gay Energy. If you like this episode, check out all our other episodes right here on YouTube.
Please like, leave a comment below, and subscribe for more amazing super gay content.